Did you wipe your feet? Did you show some honor and respect when you came in the house? If you did not, please do so. Do an about face. Turn around. Walk back out the door. Wipe your feet. Hit the like button. Then you can come back on in, man, and come eat with us. All right, that's all I ask. Clearly, more folly going on. More folly going on. I'm looking at. Look at this foolishness, man. Messengers of the Covenant, congregation page. I'm just getting notified that I've been live. Look, my phone's still saying waiting. I don't know if y'all can see that. Oh, now it just popped on. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Just came on. So everybody that's logging in from that particular channel is just now getting notified. Last week, no notifications went out. Uh, and it's ironic that we're I don't want to spoil it. Lord willing, uh, we'll be approaching on I think April 9th the congregational channel Messengers of the Covenant Reloaded. The strike that we got from that channel should be off, Lord willing, and my other channel they should be off soon. I guess I don't know. I lost count. I just know between the end of March and early April, Lord willing, we make it through with no more strikes. The channels will still live. But the fact of the matter is that once the strikes come off, now all of a sudden YouTube says, "Well, we just won't notify your subscribers that you're live." You know, so they continually play games, man. You already know what time it is. Who's in the house? Who is in the house? Jackson in the house. Shabbat shalom to you, man. Shalom to the house of Byron and the Robinson family down there. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom to Uriah. Ashar, shalom to you. Kohath Marari. Shabbat shalom to you, good brother. Appreciate your alms. We did receive it, man. All praise, honor, glory to you. Continue blessing to you and your family, your household, man. Appreciate your alms deeds, man. It's going to help us greatly, especially coming up with this Passover, um, which can be and is costly. But appreciate you, my brother. Appreciate you, man. Shout out to my brother Bayan Shakar, man, and your household, man, and the fam out there in the D. Shalom to you, Elder. All right. My family out there in Jacksonville, what's good with y'all, man? House of Elkanah, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. There go my brother with all the precepts, man, in my second brain when I be going blank. Karat Desire, Shalom to you, right? Uh, my brethren up there in the Pacific Northwest, UGL, Malachi, Shalom to y'all. All right. Tony of Judah, all praise to the Most High. Shalom to you. Shalom. Shalom. All right. Hopefully everybody's well, man. We made it to another Shabbat. And another day of rest, man. Always, the world continues to spin. A lot of madness going on out there, man. We're gonna try to cover as much as we can with the time allotted that the Most High has given us. Um, Everybody is coming in on late, man. Double check your notifications. Messengers of the Covenant Reloaded page is, being shadow banned again as usual with YouTube, man. Notifications ain't going out when I'm going live. They delay it for like 5-10 minutes beforehand, so you might have missed the first few minutes of the live. Just double check your stuff, man. Double check it, man. The sabotage is in, but it is what it is. It is what it is, man. I knew the job was dangerous when I took it. All right. So, as y'all know and can see, and as we've been covering, um, it seems like damn near every week. If it ain't the war, it's the war on the dollar, the war on the economy. The nations all choosing sides and figuring out what side are they going to stand on when this ultimate World War III jumps off. Um, but the ultimate meltdown, man, and the collapse of the dollar is underway. Is underway, man. Y'all see it. We were just talking about it last weekend and was kind of reflecting on the value of a dollar, you know. And if you grew up in, well, let's say for me, I grew up in the 80s and the 90s. So reflecting on what a dollar would have bought me back then, in comparison to what a dollar would buy you now, the contrast is crazy. You can't even go. There's no such thing as a 99-cent store anymore. That doesn't even exist. Everything at the Dollar Tree, there's nothing a dollar or under. I mean, maybe a pack of gum. You might get the little 5 piece or the 5 pack of Wrigley's that was like 35 cents. That's only because they put it on the actual package. But a pack of gum or whatever, that's over a dollar now. What happened to the gumball machines? Are they around anymore? That's non-existent. You can't even go to a vending machine. Anything's a dollar. So we know that the value of the dollar is diminishing, and we're going to cover that and look at some graphs and look at some things and just kind of see. There's a report out that says the dollar has lost 86% of its value since like 1970. So if we're talking about the ultimate collapse of the dollar, you best believe it. The ultimate collapse of America, which is what it stands on, is its economy, let alone backed by military might. Uh, both are in jeopardy. Both are in jeopardy. You check the history of Rome, you see what happened with them overspending. Their boundaries as far as the kingdom is concerned were stretched out too thin. Internal warfare going on, a house divided against itself. All of those things we see are the end results of what's going to be the collapse of this place. All right. I see some stragglers coming in. Shabbat shalom to y'all. Shabbat shalom to y'all. My brother in the choir. Good to see you, my brother. There go the fam right there. Namawa and the family. Shalom to y'all. Oh, look at this one. Look at her. Look at this one. Well, well, well. Shabbat shalom, sis. What's going on? Good to see you. All right. Shabbat shalom to everybody that came in, man. Yes. If you have not, take note. Take note. All right. Don't let me go on my. Hold on. You know what? I'm about to go on here. I got to go see. Let me see who's being honorable. Y'all be coming in talking about, yeah, I wipe my feet. Meanwhile, they ain't going down. Okay. All right. All right. All right. I see. Y'all are pretty honorable with it. All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. Y'all some good folks, man. Y'all some good Israelites. That's right. You're all good. You're all good. All right, y'all. So hey, let's get to it, man. Let's get to it. Got a lot to cover. And as usual, we're gonna give all praise, honor, and glory to the most high while you have a shot, man. Blessings to the 12 scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, man. Let's get to it. All right. Let me present my screen. Let me get this thing working right. All right. Um, let me see. Let's start here. Why not start with the word? Why not start with the word? Uh, let's start Isaiah 50. I think I want to start there. You know what? Let me hide that. Let's start here. We'll just get right to it. We're gonna get to the word and we'll throw some precepts in there. Then we're gonna continue to trickle down. Economy. You see your man Trump, 1 minute, uh it's looking like a big old, hoopla, propaganda, attention seeking, clout chasing type of situation. Now they done brought up 30 plus charges of an indictment against him. I mean, hold on. Me and the other brothers were talking about it the other day. I'm of the opinion that this is more of a distraction than anything, as we see the banks collapsing, dollar collapsing, war being on the horizon. I mean, all of these particular disasters is happening, from the tornadoes, earthquakes, everything, to take everybody's mind away from real issues that's going on in the world. What they do is they pull out their quote unquote Trump card, which is always a good distraction for everybody. As soon as you put out them 5 letters, everybody's, want to turn to see what's up with him. Um, so no pun intended. The Trump card got pulled. Everybody's, all of a sudden shifting their attention to see what's going on with him. Meanwhile, there's always a sleight of hand that goes on when you're dealing with Esau, man. Like I said, he's like playing 3 card money. He's putting the ball in the middle, 3 cups over there, switching them all around, telling you guess where the ball is, and I give you $1,000. He lets you win a couple of times. The first couple of bets is like, $100. You coming up, you're like, oh wow, man, this is easy. I can find it anytime. Until he does the okey doke, got you looking the other way, thinking we're confident in the information that we're putting out. We're finally onto something. Oh, look at the banks. Look at the Nord Stream pipeline. Look at this. All the truth's coming out. The air balloons is the distraction. Da, da, da. And next thing you know, oh, they're catching on. They're waking up. Let's throw this out there, man. Play the Trump card. Boom. Just when you think you got it all, you lose it all. So we'll talk about him in a minute too. We'll talk about him in a minute. But look at this. Russia to station nuclear arms and Belarus says Putin. So the up in the ante, Russia's up in the ante in regards to putting their nukes into closer regions, into uh, closer to Ukraine. So now he's not even playing no more. Why is that happening? Because there is I don't even know if I can qualify it as a rumor, because the next article that we'll look at came from Zelensky's Telegram account, where he's asking the U.S. to bring nukes over there. He wants access to nukes now. Now you know they're not going to give it to him, but the fact that he's even parlaying the conversation is think that he's entitled enough or strong enough to say, "Give me nukes." This is why Russia's strategically moving in their nukes. So it's par for the course in regards to what we're talking about with these end times, right? So look at this. Russia to station nuclear arms in Belarus, says Putin. EU Foreign Policy Chief Joseph Borrell on Sunday urged Belarus not to host Russian nuclear weapons, saying it could face further sanctions if it did. Belarus hosting Russian nuclear weapons would mean an irresponsible escalation and a threat to European security. Belarus can still stop it. It is their choice. The EU stands ready to respond with further sanctions, Borrell said in a tweet. So their answer is always sanction them. You know, uh, let's look at a map. Let's see how close they are. Let's see where they're at. This one's pretty good. Come on, what's going on here? You don't want to show, huh? That's all right. We'll just do it like this. So these are areas within Belarus, and this is Russia up here. Here's Ukraine. They want to get nukes down in here, right? Which is nothing but a stone's throw away from Ukraine, Poland, all these other NATO allied countries, right? So we're seeing it. Putin's making a chess move. He's acknowledging, look, I'm ready to even go this far. We'll move nukes, tactical nukes in closer to this war if you continue on acting a damn fool. Pretty much is what he's acknowledging. Um, so the EU responds and says, well, we'll just sanction Belarus. But the sanctions ain't going to be effective because haven't they been sanctioning China? They've been sanctioning Russia. They've been sanctioning Iran. All these nations, as we've been seeing, are all aligning themselves together, creating and looking towards creating a new payment system, new economy, the whole nine. That they're basically straying away from the West and saying, we don't need your money, we don't need your power, your backing, or nothing. We'll create our own, and if you don't like it, we can all go to war. That's ultimately what we're looking at. He added that Brussels, continuing on, it says he added that Brussels was ready to impose new sanctions on Belarus if Minsk were to host Russian nuclear weapons. Okay. Um, so this is the posturing that they're continuing on right now. Let's look at it. Now here's the information that came from Zelensky's website. It says Ukraine president posts petition for US nukes on Ukraine soil. Russia suggests they would make a preemptive nuclear strike. So Russia's saying, look, if Ukraine is running around with this petition saying we want nukes, America, send us nukes. They said, well, if that goes through, we're going to launch a preemptive nuclear strike. This is why they're trying to get closer, i.e., Belarus, because it's more tactical to hit in a closer range rather than just bomb and risk multiple casualties. Because if they get hit, NATO's involved, right? So they're saying we can do a preemptive strike. We'll hit you before you hit us. Like, Tupac said, bomb first. Yeah, that's what they're talking about. All right. So it says a potential Russian petition on a preemptive nuclear strike could come in response to any initiative to transfer U.S. nuclear weapons to Ukraine. Russian Security Council Deputy Chairman Dmitry Medvedev opinion on his Telegram channel on Thursday. A petition calling for the deployment of U.S. nuclear weapons on Ukrainian soil was posted on Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky's website on Thursday. Commenting on the petition on Zelensky's website, Medvedev blogged that the response could, in all probability, take the form of a, quote, Russian petition in favor of the immediate preemptive use of Russian nuclear weapons. So imagine that. Look at this. 50,000 North Korean commandos prepare to join Russia's military ops in Ukraine, says a military correspondent. So now we've been seeing, what's his name? Kim Jong-un flexing his muscle, launching a doing all of his nuclear testing, missile testing every week. Now he's clearly made his allegiance with Russia, with China, that he wants in on the war. He's willing to help. 50,000 he's going to send over there. They're prepared. Special military ops to go send them over there to Ukraine. So now we're even closer towards building up towards a World War III scenario. All right. Let's look at a couple scriptures. Let me see. Where's my Bible at? Let's look at Isaiah 50. And is this Isaiah? Oops. Not Isaiah. Let me get Jeremiah 50. Jeremiah 50. Let's read. Because ultimately, America's got the key to fame with all of this. America's going to be the one that ultimately gets destroyed as the nations rise up for war. So look at this. Jeremiah. Why am I keep saying Isaiah? Jeremiah 50, verse 40 down to 42. It says, as the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah and the neighbor cities thereof, saith Yahweh, so shall no man abide there, neither shall any son of man dwell there. Well, Revelation 18 tell you that America's going to, and 16 tell you, America's going to be a smoking heap. It's going to be destroyed. All the merchants are going to be bewailing her because of her riches and everything else. This place is going to be wiped off the map. It's not going to be anymore. Long live America, making America great again. There's no more Pledge of Allegiance. None of that stuff is going to be existing. And it says, in comparison to Sodom and Gomorrah, well, how do we know that this is also America? Because why? Revelation 11 and 8. And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified. Well, we know that this is the great city. This is Babylon. Revelation 14 and 6, I believe, tells us that this great city is Babylon. It's not talking about Babylon of old. Babylon of old had been gone thousands of years prior to this particular prophecy. Now we're seeing it said that this place that spiritually embodies Sodom is going to face the judgment, right? Now, why are we seeing the same comparison being made in Jeremiah? Because this is America. This is the place that also is going to face the same type of judgment Sodom and Gomorrah did. Hell, fire, brimstone is destined for this place. Look at this. Behold, verse 41. Behold, a people shall come from the north, a great nation, and many kings shall be raised up from the coast of the earth. People from the north, North America. This is America. A great nation. Land of the free, home of the slave. What did they say? Land of the free, home of the brave. Yeah, right. A great nation. So this is that great nation, the great city. This is the place where all the nations flow to. Many kings shall be raised from the coast of the earth. So many of the kings are going to rise up against this place. All against a great nation from the north. This is why we're seeing, Kim Jong-un over here, Xi Jinping over here. Then we're hearing about Iran over there, right? Russia over here. All of the kings of the earth are going to be raised up throughout their coast, and they're going to all come against America, but it's going to have to come through warfare. Verse 42. They shall hold the bow and the lance. They are cruel and will not show mercy. Their voice shall roar like the sea, and they shall ride upon horses, everyone put in array, like a man to the battle against thee, O daughter of Babylon. So this ain't big boy Babylon. This is the daughter, the offspring, the spiritual embodiment of this place. Okay. This place is going to be fried because America holds the key. They're the ones turning the pot, stirring up the pot for all of these particular wars. So this is why the nations are all seeing this and they're saying, listen, man, America is the devil under Satan's authority, USA. They're the ones out here calling these shots. Oh, there was peace talks that was on the table. America told them shut it down. We're not doing that. America's out here funding all of these particular proxy wars, funding the rebels over there in Afghanistan, keeping that thing cooking and cracking. They help fund all the damn drug cartels, continuing that madness. You seen what they did with in Nicaragua and the the whole Contra scandal and Oliver North back in the early '90s. For those who remember back then, America's always got their hands in the pot, guarding the poppy fields to continue with the heroin trade over there in Afghanistan, funding the wars, over here in Ukraine. They're arming other nations. So all the nations are seeing this, and they're like, "Hold on, and you giving us this monopoly money that's decreasing in value, telling us, taking out, giving us loans on fake paper, and they expect payback in money and resources." I mean, they catching up to them. When you see the IMF and the banks that are funded by Esau and the rest of these false economies, that's like you going to a bank and they don't really have no value. All they're doing is printing up money. That the more that they print up, the less value that it has. And they say, "Here, I'm gonna give you a loan for $1 million." And then you saying, "Okay," then you go use that $1 million, but it's actually worth maybe about 700,000 by the time inflation and everything hits. And you come back, and you say, "Damn, that wasn't even worth $1 million, man." But I want back 2 million because I need interest and I want everything. Oh, you can't pay it? Okay, well, give me access to your gold. Give me access to your oil. Give me access to your political system. Yeah, we need to go ahead and throw in some puppet leaders. We want to colonize your area since you can't pay it back. That's how America be operating. They're the only nation. The whole world right now, the dollar's a U.S. currency. I mean, the world reserve currency. This is the only nation that just can just print it up and then go and fund all these other economies and set standards as far as trades and stocks and all this other stuff, World Bank affairs. And then when things ain't looking good, and people start looking behind closed doors, and they say, "Man, all you keep doing is just printing up stuff, man. What is your economy based on? What are you backing this stuff for? What makes it valuable?" And America says, "Nothing to see here. Look the other way. We're operating on debt. We just create more debt. We just keep raising our credit limit or the debt ceiling, as they call it. Over $30 trillion in debt. And the rest of the nation is looking like, how are you getting away with this? When we're in debt, you want it all. You coming in with guns blazing if we don't pay. When you're in debt, all you say is, hold on, let me just increase my debt. Let me print up some more money. I'll give it to you when I get to you. The nation's all seeing as they're going to rise up against America. This is why you see Kim Jong Un. Kim Jong Un been seeing it. He like, I'm tired of this. Let me line up with the guys who's going against them. Let me get another one, Isaiah 13. Let's read Isaiah 13 and we'll read 17 and 18. It says, "Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it." So the same way, we got to look at it from this perspective too. You say, "Well, that was the Medes. What are you talking about?" Well, guess what? The Most High said that there's no new thing under the sun, right? Ecclesiastes 1 and 9. The thing that hath been is that which shall be. The thing that hath been is that which shall be. So when the Most High sets things in motion, when he sets up judgments, when he sets up these particular areas of prophecy, shifting from one kingdom to another, the plan has already been made. You don't reinvent the wheel. The Most High said, "I already know how to take down nations, build up nations. The system is already in place. So we don't try to change it and manipulate it. The Most High said it's already done. So the thing that have been is that which shall be." So when we see how the Medes rolled on Babylon, it's the same thing that's going to happen here. The nations are going to do the same thing. But watch this. The thing that have been is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun. So looking at this, it says, and we read the whole 13, man. It's gonna be a lot of destruction and uh, ravaging of America and its inhabitants and those that hold on to the red, white, and blue and the Star Spangled Banner and all of that. Reading this one more time, it says, "Behold, I will stir up the meats against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it." So the same way the Medes was like, you can't utilize your silver and your gold to get out of this. There's no buying your way out of this. Your money is no good here. Why do we see the nations all doing the same thing right now? America, your money is no good here. We're not concerned about your dollar. The hell with Jackson, Franklin, and um Lincoln and everybody else that's on your damn money. We're not dealing with it. So the same thing is happening right now. The thing which hath been is that which shall be. So nations are now coming up against Babylon, America saying, we're not regarding your silver, and as for your gold, we're not delighting in it. We're creating our own, the bricks, right? Verse 18, their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb. Their eye shall not spare children. So there's going to be ultimate destruction of this place. Men, women, children, all going to be ravished and taken out. Let me get one more. Uh, actually, actually two more. Actually, two more. Um, Jeremiah. Yeah, look at this. I mean Ezekiel 7. 7 and 19 says, they shall cast their silver in the streets, and their gold shall be removed. Their silver and their gold shall not be able to deliver them in the day of the wrath of the Lord. They shall not satisfy their souls, neither fill their bowels, because it is the stumbling block of their iniquity. So some may say, oh, well, look, money ain't going to save you. Silver, gold, literal, precious metals, that's going to be all thrown out. Well, this is kind of twofold. Yes, the Most High told us that we're going to be delivered without money. Let me get that over here in Isaiah. Let me get that in Isaiah 55. Uh, Shalakin 52. So let's look at this in complete context because it's twofold. Okay. Yeah, money is not going to save us. There's no stacking that you can do. There's no buying your way out of this bondage captivity. There's no bribing that you can do. You know, as we can see, man, the so-called white man, you can't negotiate with this dude, man. Ask the Native Americans, how many times did they try to, create covenants and bonds and peace treaties? Well over 300. Everyone broken. So there's no negotiating with the beast. Isaiah 52 and 3. For thus saith the Most High, Yahweh, ye have sold yourselves for naught, and ye shall be redeemed without money. So money isn't going to get us out of this thing. Money isn't going to get out of this thing. Um, there's another one in Proverbs. Where's that one in Proverbs? Hold on. Proverbs. Uh, Give me 1 second, y'all. It's in Proverbs. Where's that one at? Make it itself wings. Yeah, 23. Look at this. So, Proverbs 23 and 5 says, wilt thou set thine eyes upon that which is not? For riches certainly make themselves wings. They fly away as an eagle toward heaven. So, this is what ends up happening. We become like hamsters in a wheel, constantly chasing after the money. The more you chase after it, the more faster it gets, the more that it continues to make wings and fly away and it seems unattainable. So we're killing ourselves just to live, chasing after the dollar, and it continue making wings, flying away as an eagle towards heaven, as we're jumping up like hamsters in the wheel, constantly running. It ain't necessarily about the money. Now, that's one aspect. There is a stopgap between the ultimate collapse of what's going on with this economy. It's not going to end what's happening, but it may buy a little time, and I can only, let's just put it like this, because I'm not no financial advisor, none of that. But if we look at what the Bible has in here, silver and gold, those are two commodities, those are two things that we see back then in biblical times, and we see it still to this day. When you look at various other economies and you look at um, values and dollars of various economies and countries, they've all been changing. America's changed how it values its money like two or three times already. The Romans don't use the denarius anymore. The British switched from the pound to the euro, you know. China switched from the yen to the yuan. So we're seeing all of these things constantly changing up. One thing that we don't see changing and that's steady is silver and gold. If you look at, I'm gonna share this with y'all. Uh, I've bought some silver, right? And the spot that I bought it from just recently sent me an email and said uh, they're in complete like panic mode. They're saying, "Oh, we want to apologize for the lack of customer service and the shipping times and this, that, and the third. And we just been overwhelmed and swamped. We wasn't expecting and didn't know what was happening with these banks and everything else that's going on. Um, there's been an onslaught and a rush. People are all buying and trying to hoard these, precious metals or whatnot. And we apologize for the delay. We're hiring more people. We're giving bonuses. People are working overtime. Blah 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 blah." And basically trying to promise their customers, "Oh, we're going to improve on our customer service." And in the meantime, new orders now are $500 or more. Before that, you could buy anything you want. You want to buy a little piece of silver, it's all good. Now they're trying to, pump the brakes on people trying to buy because they're saying, "Hold on, we're getting overwhelmed with orders. I want to make sure." Hold on one second. Give me one second, y'all. All right, Salaki. So anyway, so they sent me this whole little thing, right? And they basically saying, "Oh, let me just stop this. We're overwhelmed, bottom line, you know." And now they put a minimal cap on how much you can buy before they take new orders. They're like $500 or more is the only things that we're taking right now because we need to slow down the demand. So what ended up happening is that the people that were victims of the whole bank collapse, they're taking their money and they're running to precious metals because that's the only thing that has been continual with maintaining value. And if anybody that's out there that's getting it, you're seeing the cost and the value of silver and gold going up while the value of the dollar is going down. The confidence in dealing with the banks, all of that is kind of diminishing. So people are looking a different way to hedge their bets and to have some particular value. So I just noticed that and I said, "Damn, I gotta tell this to the fam just in case, anybody's interested or want to know, what else to do." I say that to say that, yeah, money ain't gonna save it because really we're seeing here the value of the money in Ezekiel 7:19 is gonna be worthless. People gonna be throwing it out there because if you look at I've shown y'all before pictures of the money and the economy that's going on in Venezuela. I've showed y'all this before. See this? This because the value of the money in Venezuela is completely collapsed. It's worthless. They're even utilize. I've seen articles where they're utilizing this cat's paying for haircuts with a little sliver of gold now. And I've been saying this for years, man. Anybody want to see where America's headed? Look at Um, look at Venezuela. Hold on one second, y'all. Shalaki. Getting some. My apologies, y'all. I had to fix something that was kind of getting out of the way. All right, so good precept right there. Scripture let you know. For wisdom is a defense, and money is a defense, but the excellency of knowledge and is that wisdom giveth life to them that have it. Absolutely. Absolutely. Scriptures even tell us wisdom and knowledge to be the stability of our times and strength of salvation. So we know money answers all things and so forth and so on, right? But there is going to be casting away of money, gold, the value is going to diminish like we're seeing here. Man, they out here making purses and bags with the money in Venezuela because it has no value no more. It used to be that you put your money in there. Now they ain't doing it. Now they're using the money for arts and crafts. You see them here? Because the economy's completely collapsed over there, right? Look, look at this cat. That's ultimately where America's headed, right? But there is a little bit of a stopgap if you have some so-called precious metals that kind of delay the inevitable. But one of the things that they're also talking about in this is idols. Not only is it just money, but in context of understanding what was going on at the time, it was idols as well, right? Isaiah 2, verse 20, it says, in that day a man shall cast his idols of silver and his idols of gold, which they made, each one for himself to worship to the moles and to the bats, to go to the clefts of the rocks and to the tops of the ragged rocks, for the fear of Yahweh and for the glory of his majesty when he ariseth to shake terribly the earth. So the forsaking of idols and all that, people are going to be tossing them things away because they're going to realize that they're of no value. They were false gods. So when we see in Ezekiel 17 and 19, it also lets us know they shall cast their silver in the streets and their gold shall be removed. Their silver and their gold shall not be able to deliver them in the day of the wrath of the Lord. With the silver and the gold, but they can't depend on these idols no more. But even if you look at it today, they looking at money as an idol. So it's twofold when you look at it from that perspective. It says, in the wrath of the Lord, they shall not satisfy their souls, neither fill their bowels, because it is the stumbling block of their iniquity. That's how money, the gold, the silver idols and whatnot becomes a stumbling block because the people was worshiping false deities and gods made out of silver and gold. They're going to be throwing them things in the streets. Well, the same thing's going to be happening with the money, the economy, and the gods that they've created in their hearts and their minds, tossed out when the wrath of the Most High comes. But we're seeing ahead of time where people are losing confidence already in the money, and America's overspending, over budget, ballooning up their debt ceiling. We still seeing as of right now. I don't even know if they increased the debt ceiling or whatnot, but they were saying by June the Republicans are ready and embracing in preparation for a default, meaning they're gonna go bad on all their loans and can't pay their bills, in other words. So we're looking to see what happens with that. So just a few precepts on that, man. This is why we're seeing the nations all rising up against. We're seeing the kings of the earth coming from all coasts to come against us, the kingdom of the north, the great nation. and it's going down. All right, so let's continue. Look at it. King Charles III warns Europe's security is under threat in a landmark German speech. So King Charles, same guy that says he's the descendant of Dracula. You know that guy who used to be Prince Charles, now he's King Charles. He says he's a descendant of Dracula or Vlad the Impaler, but i.e. that was his nickname. Vlad the Impaler was called or was known to be where they got the inspiration for Dracula from, because it was rumored that he was used to drink the blood of his enemies and all of that, and putting them on impaling them on stakes. That's his descendant is who he's claiming, right? Now he's worried. King Charles III called Russia's war in Ukraine a threat to Europe's democratic values in the first speech made by a monarch at the German parliament, but said allies like Germany and Britain can draw courage from their unity. Speaking mostly in German through the 30-minute speech, Charles underlined that the scourge of war is back in Europe. The war of aggression against Ukraine has brought unimaginable suffering on so many innocent people. The security of Europe, as well as our democratic values, are under threat, but the world did not stand idly by. We can draw courage from our unity, he added. So here we see now the West, they're trying to gather their troops together through King Charles. He's saying, look, we got to come together now. We got to unify. You know, we stood on 10 toes together when the war started. Now some people is turning it down, walking away, leaving. There was where were they at? Damn, it was some European country. Zelensky was talking on the video conference of the parliament, and it must have been about 15 to 20 of the dudes in the that part. Where was it at? I want to say it was Hungary. It might have been Hungary, but about 15 to 20 of them cats, man, they all got up and walked out, saying, "Look, we're sick of this. We're not with this." So this is why Prince Charles is running around, uh, trying to rally the troops for the EU and the West. Let me see if that was it. No. Oh yeah, here it go. Oh, it was Austria. Austria lawmakers staged a mass walkout. So this is why Prince Charles is out here running around talking about, hold on. It was more than 15, 20. I seen it from a different angle. They just showed like around in here. There goes Zelensky. You see that? They don't want to hear it no more. When have we seen this type of divide in the kingdom of Satan, man? Yeah, he's all Edomites, man. They're all heathen, all devils. But at the same time, these EU countries now, they're having issues. There's schisms within there, right? So all praise to the Most High, man. Everything's going according to plan. But we're seeing even the nations now. This is why King Charles is like, hold on, guys, we need to come together now. They're coming together over there. They're working it out. We can't get taken out. We're gonna get destroyed if we don't unify. So there's all kind of divisiveness going on within the EU. Okay, look at this. Over in Israel, Netanyahu admits Israel is on the brink of civil war as he postpones judicial reform amid another night of violent protests. Well. So what's going on in our land? What did the Most High say was going to end up happening? Strangers inhabiting in our land. Let's see Isaiah 1. Get the classic. Verse 7. Isaiah 1 and 7 says, your country is desolate. Your cities are burned with fire, your land, strangers devour it in your presence, and it is desolate, as overthrown by strangers. Well, yeah, clearly. The strangers are over there devouring our land. It's desolate because the children of the Lord are not there. And what are they doing? They're getting ready to have civil unrest go on over there. They've got their own insurrections happening within the government. Netanyahu is over there running things like a tyrant. And now you see their own people now are turning against them. So this is all prophetic. This is all part of the plan that those people got to get up out of there, but it's got to get purged. The heathen are gonna go over there, making a ruckus and a racket about why. I mean, they ain't even supposed to be over there anyway. But the Most High gave it to them because of our indignation. I mean, because of His fiery indignation and us going against the laws and the commandments as judgment. Ezekiel 30, 6 and 5 says, "Therefore, thus saith the Most High Yahweh, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen and against all Idumea, which have appointed my land into their possession with the joy of all their heart, with despiteful minds to cast it out for a prey." So, excuse me, we're seeing them over there living in our land, and now it's all kind of insurrections going on. They still got issues with the Palestinians, and they got internal issues going on over there, right? So the Lord is at work. We can see that for sure. The Lord is at work. So Netanyahu's letting it be known. Oh, we got problems. Civil war going on the brink of it, I should say. It hasn't started yet, but there is mass protests and rioting going on over there, in our land, being occupied by the squatters. Right. Second Ezra 9. He answered me then and said, "Measure thou the time diligently in itself." So we're measuring the time. We're watching. Because what's going to help us measure the time? Verse the next line. "And when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before," so we're measuring it by prophecy, we're measuring it by the history, we're measuring it by the judgments that we see in before the earth. All these things are time markers that we're looking at, right? Verse 2. "Then thou shalt understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then thou shalt well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning." So when we're seeing the protests going on in Israel, we're seeing the protests going on in America, we're seeing them in Paris, we're seeing them in uh 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 what was it, Sweden, with the farmers and all of that. I mean, they're worldwide protests going on. Well, not really a protest. But we see the Ugandans over there, they just made law. So anybody that's declaring themselves to be LGBTQ plus HIV, it's criminal. We locking your butt up. You got people in the uproar over that. They dare not do it in Uganda, but outside countries, America and anybody else looking over there saying that isn't right. These are human rights. We'll see that in a minute. We'll see that in a minute in regards to what's going on with that whole thing, man. This place really is spiritual Sodom in Egypt, man. I mean, it's unreal how they are working this thing with the transformer community and all of them. But let's continue. We'll get to it in a minute. Looking at the dollar, so column, U.S. money supply falling at the fastest rate since the 1930s. So when the title of the video acknowledging that, America, the dollar is on the fast track to being melted down. Yes, money supply is falling at the fastest rate since the 1930s. I made mention of this before. I think it was last week. I talked about the class that I did regarding inflation and all of that. And I did a class mirroring and paralleling the roaring 20s leading up into the Great Depression, which was from 1929 or 1930, I think, to 1934, 36, somewhere around there. How the parallels are eerily similar to what we're going through right now. So now we're even seeing here another article that's showing the money supply is falling at its fastest rate since the times of the Great Depression. Very ironic that we're back in them same time frames now. Look at this. Real value of one US dollar decreases by 86% in the last 50 years. People that's why I said that we read in Isaiah 13 that media is not going to give any pay any attention to the silver and the gold. They're not going to trip off of that. Why? Because it's dropping in value. From 1972 all the way down to 2022, this is where the value of the dollar is. It's constantly depreciating. While other nations are hoarding gold and they're backing their economies, that's what the BRICS economy, the Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, and the other nations that are aligning themselves and applying to join, they're backing whatever their potential economy is. I forgot what they're calling it, and payment system. They're backing theirs with gold, natural resources, i.e., oil, and other precious minerals, tangible things that establishes value. America is just playing banker, as in Monopoly. The banker, if you one of them slick cats, man, that's competitive, and you the banker, and they out here constantly swindling a little cash on the side, people gonna get tired of that. And they don't want to deal with the individual that's doing that. So that's why we're seeing the impact of what's happening within America. The value of the dollar is completely going down, man. Ain't nobody tripping off of the dollar no more. Like I said, the dollar ain't what it used to be. And just off of just being a lay person that don't really, ain't nobody real super economist here. But at the same time, it's like, okay, I can see my dollar damn sure ain't what it used to be no more. It don't have the value in the power that it used to have at all. You can look around, we can look around and see it's not the same. Hold on, y'all. Let me I'm good. Let me fix my camera a little bit. Okay, there we go. Yeah, Naphtali. The squatters are over there wilding out, man. They're over there wilding out. Hey, Shalom, Kutan. I brought a little Hebrew in the house. Shalom to you. Shabbat shalom. Um, yeah, they're over there wilding out, man. They're over there wilding out. But we see here, man, the dollar's going down. Buying power over time, it's been dwindling down. Now you got to add some. You got to have extra little change in your pocket, man. Uh, the facts is clear. Okay, Brazil China strike a deal agreement to ditch the US dollar. So this is all part of the plan, the BRICS economy. They're straying away from the dollar. They're going to be abandoning America, right? Because of the fact that the economic war that's already on the table is becoming more evident and more evident. So not only are we going to have physical war, guns drawn, nukes launched, but the war for the economy also is underway. That's where it's starting at. Okay, so Brazil and China, they've already struck the deal to diss the dollar. All right. That's going to be big because China owns so much debt, so much of America's debt. They've got land agreements over here and all that. If they finally say, you know what, we're not dealing with your money no more, we're seeing the fragility of your banks. All they need is a couple of people to run up there and say, I want my money. And because the banks aren't solvent enough, don't have enough of the money on hand, they get to scrambling and trying to, shuffle and sell off bonds and all kind of stuff to try to scrape up the money. That's essentially what just happened with these other banks that just failed. People went up there, they don't expect people to do massive withdrawals. People come up and say, I want my money, I want my money. And they like, oh, shoot, shoot. They want their money. We ain't got it. Where is it? Oh, it's tied up in loans. It's tied up in bonds. It's tied up in this. Well, stall them, stall them. Tell them we can give them a little bit and then we'll figure out if we can get some more. And then when that don't work, they just say, we can't pay. Then the Feds got to come in, take over the bank, print up some more money, consolidate all of these smaller banks into one big system. That's what they want to do. Destroy all the little guys So they can come in here and say, we got one World Bank that have, multiple tentacles in it that's all bringing it all back home. Like a big old octopus. You know what I'm saying? It's going to have multiple arms with these other banks, major banks, I don't know if it's Wells Fargo, Citibank, Bank of America, whatever. They have all these particulars that all going to bring everything into one centralized system. But Brazil, China says we're not with it. We want to create our own Hydra. New World Order. Oh, I remember, 20 years ago, you couldn't even say that without somebody looking at you crazy, poking their lips out, saying, "What? Oh, you one of those people talking that stuff? Oh, you one of those, Illuminati? What? Oh man, you a weirdo. Oh man, you crazy." Now, when you seeing these same three words in, modern Western media, very interesting. Very interesting. Now the cat's out the bag. So this is why when truth starts coming out, oh, we got to distract them. Hey, line up some charges against Trump, man. Maybe we can pull him out, man. He's always been a good distraction for us. You know, I'll talk about the mothership that's coming soon. Let them know we found the alien ship. You know, we can do that. Tell them the Earth is flat or whatever. All kind of foolishness to make everybody get distracted and look the other way. And before you know it, man, they done pulled the okey doke and everything's gone. A new world order. BRICS nations offer alternatives to the West. Predictions about the BRICS countries is as the fastest growing economies haven't quite panned out. Instead, the alliance is now offering a diplomatic forum and developing financing outside the Western mainstream. Look at this. South African Foreign Minister Naledi Pandor has said worldwide interest in the BRICS group was huge. Worldwide interest in the BRICS group was, quote, huge. You don't think that America and Europe and all them is stressing right now? The luster and the of this is one of the end time prophecy before when America gets destroyed. Um, but where is it at? Uh, it's in 18. Yeah, here it go. 15 and 16. This is when they're gonna see the ultimate destruction of America. They're gonna say this. The merchants of these things which were made rich by her shall stand afar off for the fear of her torment, weeping and wailing, and saying, Alas, alas, that great city that was clothed in fine linen and purple and scarlet and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls. For in 1 hour so great riches has come to naught, and every shipmaster and all the company and ships and sailors and as many as trade by sea stood afar off and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, What city is like unto this great city? When they see the final destruction and the downfall of America, that's the words that's going to be said. But look, what they reflected on is how good America looked, all the promise that it had, the great whore that had them seduced. They was loving to pucker up their lips to suck on the poisoned breasts of this great whore. Now they see that fine linen and purple, man, got holes all in it. The moths done ate it up. It stank. Oil, dirt, and rust stains all over the gold and the precious stones and pearl. America's losing its luster. You understand? And now we're seeing the nations are all saying, "Oh, there's huge interest in this new hoe on the block. Oh, she's looking good over here." And America's trying its best to slap on a little bit more makeup, man. Fix the wig up and hold on. I still got it. Showing a little more leg. You understand? But the nations is like, yeah. We've been there, done that, man. You wore out. Nobody's trying to go there no more. Continuing on, it says in early March, she told television interviewers that she had 12 letters from interested countries on her desk. Saudi Arabia is one, she said. United Arab Emirates, Egypt, Algeria, and Argentina, as well as Mexico, and Nigeria. So one of the ones that's been rumored, and many have been looking at it and spoken on it, was Mexico. Mexico, I believe, is like the second largest economy in Latin America. Mexico got a lot to bring to the table. Let alone, like I said before, imagine if Mexico joins this BRIC nation economy and they're open to now becoming an ally of enemies of the West. Same thing that happened back in the 50s and the 60s with the Cold War with Cuba when they made covenant agreements with Russia and Russia started putting missiles over there and created a buddy communist alliance. America had to put the freeze on Cuba, which they still suffering to this day, and had to shut it down. So don't let Mexico, because the Mexican president, he been talking big stuff against America of late. So if they can turn out Mexico and turn Mexico into an enemy of the West, that's the China, Brazil. I mean, China and Russia, they'll be right on the border of America. Ain't nothing that America can do about it. Besides, what you gonna do? Sanctions that ain't gonna work. They got a whole damn cabal of nations that are all said, "The hell with your sanctions. We got our own money, economy, payment system, everything." So there's nothing that you can do to affect us monetarily. And there's nothing you can do besides declare war. See where this is going, y'all? Nothing they can do about it but say, you know what, the hell with everybody then. Either you're with me or you're against me. America gonna stand up and say, you know what, the hell with it. We gotta go to war because I'm not losing a grip on the world. Okay. Look at this. Economic growth in BRICS countries. So these are the particular main countries that have started the BRICS. China, see here, China, India, Brazil, Russia, South Africa. All of their economies are going up. But what's going on to the dollar? Oh, okay. Oh, okay. America's in trouble, man. This place is fried, cooked, finished, and actually, it needs a little overcooking. It just needs to get burnt. It's cooking right now. It's cooking right now. The pot is on low. It's gonna get turned up a little bit more. The Most High continues raising the temperature on the heat on the thermostat, man. Before it starts burning. let me be clear. So all of the founding nations of the BRICS, their economy is going up. So that's the wave that everybody is looking at, and they're saying, "Oh, well, if we're going to survive the incoming dooms that's happening, we're going to have to line ourselves up with the winning team." This is all temporal, This is all things they're going to be putting out there to try to establish a new world order of economy and so forth and so on. All these things got to come to pass, but the real transferring of power is going back to Yahweh Shai. It's going back to Christ and the Israelites. While the nations are going to go to war over this whole thing. So look at this. Because of this fact, right? I found a couple articles, man. First thing, America will utilize is the press and the media to try to disparage and ruin the names of anybody. So when you look at this, even the scriptures tell us, man. Proverbs 22:1. A good name is rather to be chosen than great riches and loving favor than silver and gold, right? So the Lord said having a good name is better to be chosen than great riches, right? If you got a good name, man, the truth stands alone. You ain't got to defend it, man. The witness is already gonna say that. Yeah, they're good. We're not falling for that. His name is good. Her name is good. We're not falling for the foolishness. But that's what America did. America will sit out there and say, you know what, ruin their character. How many times have they done that to us as Israelites? They campaigned heavy against this man when all the truth, all the facts, all the history, everything that came out, showing and proving who we are as the chosen people of the Lord. They just had that debate with the brother um Gorilla Hebrew with Sakari and the Edomite Dr. Brown. I mean, he mopped him up, trying to prove who the Israelites are. Now, I may not agree with the chart, but I'm damn sure not going to go against my brother. I agree with who he says is the Israelites. I agree with that for sure. Blacks, Native Americans, and Hispanics, no doubt. See, that's when Israel comes together, man. Regardless if I agree with everything a brother says, we could talk about that on the side. But a heathen, a damn sure can't come in and talk about anything in our nation, our business. I'm shoulder to shoulder with that. We're gonna dispel and get rid of the roaches so that we can enjoy the house and sit down. Other than that, it is what it is. So the press and Esau will utilize everything they can to try to disparage. Oh, the Israelites, their hate group. Oh, the Israelites, running terrorist attacks. Oh, the Israelites shot up a Jewish store in New Jersey. Oh, the Israelites, killed Martin Luther King's mother. The Israelite, I mean, they try everything they can to try to disparage the name, man. All we do is stand on truth, continue doing the work of the Lord, and the truth is evident, man. You can do nothing against the truth before the truth. The truth don't need no defending. It is what it is. It's going to manifest itself to be true. It'll all be shown in the end. You understand? But Esau says, well, we've got propaganda machines. Edward Bernays, the father of propaganda. I mean, this is the guy right here. I'm sure some of y'all may have heard of him. Some of y'all may have not. This guy, the nephew of Sigmund Freud. This guy right here. Yeah. American theorist, considered a pioneer in the field of public relations and propaganda, and referred to in his obituary as the father of public relations. So anytime a little crisis go on, anytime he's the one that comes up with the coming up with the campaigns for propaganda and for mind control and for societal thought. You know, he's the one that was promoting cigarettes. You know, the power of the women. All of that other stuff. Utilizing art, everything. He's the one behind all the propaganda thought. So America takes that and they run with it. So look at this. So notice we just got to saying Mexico was flirting with joining the BRICS. So what did they do? And this is ironic too. Video shows guards walking away during a fire that killed 38. Now, notice it said there's a video showing these guards walking away from a fire. Now, there was a migrant fire. They burned up some mattresses down there in Mexico. You notice all of a sudden now, all the news that starts coming out of Mexico is to stay away. You notice that? Oh, the tummy tuck 4 went down there to go get some surgery done and got caught in the crossfire with some cartel shootouts. Then they said, oh, maybe they was going down there to get drugs and score some bricks. Maybe continually slandering the dead. You understand what I'm saying? No proof, none of the above, outside of the fact that they got killed going down there into Mexico. So the press rolls out, discouraging and telling anybody and everybody who's trying to save a buck, to go out there and get your cheeks done. Talking about your butt cheeks, y'all know. Go get your little BBL, go get your tummy tuck, go get your skin peeled back, or whatever the case may be. Don't go down there. Don't go to Mexico. They're gonna kill you. Don't go down there for spring break. Don't go down there for vacation, and the cartel's gonna kill you. So you see how they cut off the economy, the supplemental economy that Mexico is making by discouraging American dollars to go down there. Now all of a sudden they had this huge fire of mattresses down there a few days ago, and they show some guards walking away. Well, my first thought is did they set it? And if so, who paid these guys? Look at it. After migrants in northern Mexico placed mattresses against the bars of their detention cell and set them on fire, guards quickly walked away and made no apparent attempt to release the men before smoke filled the room and killed 38 men. surveillance video showed Tuesday. Hours after the fire broke out late Monday, rows of bodies were laid out under shimmery silver sheets outside the immigration detention facility in Ciudad Juarez, which is across the U.S. border and from El Paso and major crossing points for migrants. Authorities originally reported 40 dead, but later said some may have counted twice in a confusion. 28 people were injured and were in, quote, delicate, serious condition, according to National Immigration Institute. So here we see some migrants is out of nowhere decide to burn mattresses against themselves, thinking that was going to get them out. The guards walk away. 38 of them all die. In the midst of the Mexican president talking big stuff about the hypocrisies of America, telling them don't give us advice about nothing when y'all can't even get your own house in order. Uh, then they're over here flirting, saying, "Well, we might go over here with the BRICS." So now all of a sudden we're seeing all this stuff now coming up about Mexico, all the cartel violence. That's been going on. We just read a story last week. They pulled up a story from a family that's been missing one of their family members for 6 years. Why are you digging that up now? But it's a propaganda and a slander campaign to threaten to Mexico. Look, we can make things look bad. We can make you look like the worst place on earth and discourage anybody from flooding and dealing with you in any type of business. You better stay loyal to the Great Whore. That's what they're doing with Mexico right now. Look at it. U.S. tourist shot in the leg at Mexican resort in Puerto Morelos. So if you ain't getting shot, the Mexicans down there, the migrants is gonna burn you up, and you see what I'm saying? A U.S. tourist was shot in the leg by unidentified assailants at a resort town in Mexico's Caribbean coast. Prosecutors in the coastal state of Quintana Roo said Tuesday. They said the shooting occurred in a low-key town part of Puerto Morelos, just south of Cancun. Prosecutors said the American was approached by several suspects near midnight Monday, and they shot him in the leg. The motive remains under investigation. The wounded man was taken to the hospital in Cancun for treatment, and his injury was judged to be not life threatening. So the propaganda rolls out. All of a sudden, the stories coming out. They're basically threatening Mexico, saying, "Man, we're gonna make you look really bad for business if you don't, knock it off what you're flirting with the BRICS nations." Because what they trying to do? Tell the BRICS nations you don't want to mess with them. You don't want to do business with them. You see what's going on over there? You think you want that place to be a rest haven for the Chinese or the Russians to come on over there and vacation and hang out, and this is the place that you want to deal with all of this mess and madness with the cartels and the drugs and everything. You want to deal with that, and thinking that the BRICS nation is gonna say, "Yeah, yeah, you're right. We're not gonna deal with them. Thanks. Good looking out for the heads up." Yeah, we were seeing all of the headlines I was putting out there. Good. We're gonna walk away from them. That ain't gonna go down, man. Mexico is they're gonna say, you know what, please. It's propaganda that America's putting out. Not saying stuff ain't bad, it ain't going down out there, but America knows how to exploit it when it's good for them. You know, Ciroc even tells us, I mean, if he have need of thee, he'll use thee. Saudi Arabia strengthens relations with China amid strange U.S. ties. So we're seeing here more of a lining. They're strengthening their ties. Saudi Arabia, Iran, Syria, they're all coming together. We've been reading about it. Look, it's not a pretty picture. Russia's support is growing in the developing world. Do you see how fast that was? In less than a little more than a year. When the war started in Ukraine, Russia was the worst place. Mad Vlad, he's the tyrant terrorist. He's, the wickedest man on earth, so forth and so on, man. Everybody was buying into it. There was, what was they saying? Stand with Ukraine and all this other stuff. People was running around with the flags. And now all of a sudden, all it took was a little more than a year for people to wake up and say, "Hold on, what's really going on over there? This don't sound right." Matter of fact, and then people start looking in the mirror and they looking at America and the West and they saying, really it's looking a little bit worse over there. Looking like there's a lot of puppeteering going on. There's a lot of folly going on, a lot of hypocrisy going on. Looks like there's a lot of lies that's coming up out of there. And people are making their own independent decisions now. So worldwide support is flipping. Now you think that NATO and America is going to be good with that? That now all of a sudden people are looking towards supporting Russia? Oh no. America's not going to allow that. Not without a fight. You understand? A report from the Economist Intelligence Unit earlier this month assessed that net support for Russia had grown in the years since the invasion of Ukraine as Moscow ramps up its courtship of previously neutral or geopolitically unaligned countries. So, how long have we been talking about that? Countries choosing sides. Politicking is going on. The world powers are telling everybody choose a side because it's about to go down. Assessing countries' enforcement of sanctions, UN voting patterns, domestic political trends, and official statements alongside economic, political, military, and historical ties, the EIU determined that the past year saw an increase in countries leaning towards Russia from 25 to 36. So they've gained 11 countries' support within the last year, despite all of the slander efforts that America tried. Oh, they're hacking our votes. They're doing that. It must be the Russians that blew up their own pipeline. Oh, they just did Putin is responsible for your gas prices going up. Remember Slow Biden did that? He got off the plane, he was walking, and people was asking him what's he gonna do about the high gas prices, and he said, Putin's to blame. All that stuff ain't working no more. So the nations are waking up and they're saying, oh, no, 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 no. We see what's really happening. We know which side we're going to choose in this whole war. All right, let's continue. South African politician says he'll pick up Putin from the airport to avoid arrest. Remember last week where it said that South Africa was trying to figure out what they were going to do with regarding this warrant that's out there for Putin? Well, it looks like at least one politician stepped up and said, "Don't worry about it. I'll pick him up from the airport so he can come to the BRIC summit and we can discuss this business and we can get this money rolling. But we're not going to arrest him." So look at it. Julius Malema of the Populist Economic Freedom Fighter said Vladimir Putin would be, quote, welcome in South Africa later this year, despite the threat of International Criminal Court arrest warrant hanging over him. So we see where that's going. Sounds like South Africa is going to stand on 10 toes and say, well, come get him if you want him. But we're not going to arrest him. So they're showing a bit of defiance against the international courts. Now let's get on to your man Trump, man. We got it. We got it. We got to talk about him. Very briefly. I ain't gonna give him too much light, but you know, what was it? 2 weeks ago, he came out and said, "I expect to be arrested. They're gonna come get me. Don't take this sitting down. Raise hell if need be. It's gonna be a lot of blood and death." Didn't he say that? So 2 weeks later, nothing happened. So was he capping, or was he for real? So the question now remains. So over that time, and I've covered it and talked about it, man. His arrest. They said his arrest is coming. I'm saying it's a distraction. Who knows if they even actually arrest him? I mean, is it really arrest if you turn yourself in? See how they use all the headlines, man. If I go turn myself in, I never got arrested. They were talking about he wants to be taken in cuffs. He wants to be looked at as a martyr. Hey, after all of this, they told me, "Come on in when you get a minute. We're gonna fingerprint you and take your mugshot, man. We're gonna treat you well. Don't worry about it." And this is all over. What the initial thing is, quote unquote, hush money paid to the porn chick. Basically, she's an escort or a prostitute, whatever. Hush money paid to a hoe, man. 7 years ago, they bring this up. Look at this case is going nowhere, and Bragg knows it. Trump's camp says grand jury month-long hiatus is a first step in Manhattan DA dropping bogus prosecution. So this is, I'm just collecting articles as it was coming out, right? So the first thing after this whole, we're gonna indict him came out, or he said, I'm gonna get indicted, this, that, and the third. The following week, Alvin Bragg, the DA, he says, I need to take a week off. We got to reassess this. So then it's looking like, come on now. Once he says he's gonna get arrested, now the DA says we're gonna take the rest of the week off. Then just earlier this week, or it could have been the end of last week, earlier this week, they said that the grand jury was going to take a whole month off for this whole thing. So that was going to further delay. So I said, look at this. Okay, they kicking the can down the road. They, let Trump go out there and say some folly. Now they got to delay it because it kind of spoiled the moment. It's all about pride and arrogancy, man. They wanted to pull up on him at his Mar-a-Lago and raid the house and bring him out in cuffs and all that. But Trump got word ahead of time. Oh, they're gonna indict you, man. So Trump put out the tweet. They want to arrest me. They're gonna come get me. They should be coming on Tuesday. So now the element of surprise is over with. So now they said, well, Bragg said, damn, give me the rest of the week to figure this out, man. We want to grandstand this thing. We want to really blow it up. That didn't happen. So now the word's out. Everybody's watching. They got the AI making all of the arrest images and all this other stuff. So then they said, well, we're gonna take a month-long hiatus before we come back with a new game plan on it. And that's when Trump came out. He was saying, "Man, it's all bogus. They know it. This ain't real." So now they just ended up just saying, "You know what? The hell with it. Indict him. We ain't gonna go for the dramatics. We're not gonna go for the political theater. Indict him." First, the words come out is on what? Oh, the money to the hoe, man. He paid that off, man. That could have involved the election. The dude been came, gone, served his 4 years as president. It's over with. I mean, what can you do now to say, "Oh man, you got in as a president bogusly"? Well, too late. He didn't already serve the time. If that was the case, oh well, he had confidential documents. Well, so does slow Biden. Are they going to get him too? They ain't gonna do that. I mean, this is why we know America's divided and the folly. They just want somebody to pick the lesser of two evils. Israel, man, we don't deal with neither one. We sit back and watch the show and say, "Look at these two damn devils going at it, man." Look at this one. He's more weak. He's more deceptive and wicked than the other. Look, this dude think he's slick, and we sit back and laugh. So look at Donald Trump's team is growing increasingly confident that Alvin Bragg will drop his case and think the grand jury's month-long break in hearing evidence is the first step in the process. So this is before they jumped up and they just said, "You know what? The hell with it, man. Just indict him." So look at it. Oh, I meant to put this one up. Uh, Russia stepping up their game. I'm gonna get to the Trump thing in a minute. But they arrested a Wall Street Journal reporter and suspected him of spying. They rolled up on him like in a restaurant, I believe, and brought him up out of there. So now this is gonna be another like uh what are you not necessarily Brittany Griner, because she got caught with vaping and weed or whatever the case may be. But they're gonna utilize this as another political tool. This reporter being held as spy charges. Oh, now America gonna say you're holding one of ours hostage. You've got no proof that he's a spy. Let him go or else. Another piece on the chessboard. Now we're seeing Russia's over there saying, you know, uh, this journalist over here, he's spying on us. Whether they got proof or not, who knows? But the fact that they snatched him up, now they're gonna look at him as being a political prisoner. That's gonna be even more for them to stand on. As the US is telling any people, any Americans that's in Russia, get out. I think I covered that a few weeks back. They was telling everybody, the US, everybody in the US, if you're in Russia, get out of there. So this guy was still over there and they snatched him up. Look at this. So here they finally came up with all these counts. Now you know damn well they ain't gonna have 30 counts to hold on to. Most of them is probably misdemeanors and BS. They'll drop it down to maybe like the core two or three, and they're the whole little prosecution. They're divided amongst themselves because they're saying, why the hell is this guy in New York, the DA in New York, chasing him down for the bribery paid to the hoe? When Georgia, they're trying to get him on voter fraud or voter fraud, and then DC is like, well, we're trying to get him on January 6th, and he's over here indicting him for a hoe. What the hell? So they're even divided on what they're trying to get him for. So now they say, oh, it's business fraud. Well, that sounds like some business, some real stuff. The fraud was him paying the harlot because he denied it. So they're saying, oh, you used money to pay this harlot, then you lied about it, and that's one of the things. But it sounds better when it says business fraud. Sounds serious, you know. 30 counts though. I mean, they try to get him for his taxes. They try to get him for the January 6th. They try to get him for having confidential. And the dude's still running around campaigning saying, I'm running in 2024. He's acting like ain't nothing real. I'll be, he's running around on the campaign trail trying to get money. He ain't taking it seriously. Former President Donald Trump faces more than 30 counts related to business fraud in an indictment from Manhattan grand jury, according to two sources familiar with the case. Early Thursday, spokesperson for Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg said the office has contacted Trump's attorney to coordinate his surrender. You see that? Coordinate. Let that be a Jake, man. Do we have any negotiating terms when we can say, yeah, let me work out on my schedule, man, where I can come in and talk to you? Man, they sending out the damn bounty hunters, the task force, the FBI, SWAT, dogs, and everything that come chase down a Jake, man. But for him, oh man, let's work out a negotiation, man. When can you come in? Is Tuesday work? No, I can't do Tuesday, man. Maybe Thursday. I'll get back to you. I'll let you know. I mean, that shows you how much political theater it really is, man. If the dude was really up on some real criminal madness, what they should be arresting him on the spot. That show you this is some BS. When can we coordinate your surrender? Not arrest. Coordinate his surrender for arraignment on a quote Supreme Court indictment, which remains under seal. So it's a sealed document. Nobody knows what's going on in there. Nobody really knows the real charge is what they're talking about. The only thing that's public right now is the money to the harlot, the Georgia voter fraud, and January 6th. That he had something to do with the whole insurrection going on over there. None of the above. Everything else, oh, it's sealed. Public asked about it. Can we see what's the charge? What's the indictment? We can't let you see it. It's sealed. It's top secret. Believe that if you want to. Look at it. Shocked. How's he shocked when he said it 2 weeks ago he was going to get arrested? This dude, he's part of the damn folly. He knows damn well they ain't going to elect him in 2024, man. But he's a good stooge, man. He's a good character to go along with the play. It's political theater, man. He's playing his part. Shocked Trump goes to dinner with Melania, then rages online after the indictment. So, in typical fashion, like he's some millennial, he goes online to wage his war, trolling and tweeting at 3 in the morning, probably drunk after having dinner with his wife. Does that sound like somebody who's really tripping about being arrested? I mean, and it says he's shocked. He's shocked that he got it, that the indictment is coming for him. He said it himself 2 weeks ago that it was going to go down. How's he shocked? And if you really stressing, how do you just bypass it and just go out to a public dinner with your wife? I mean, any Jake Israelite that got some damn indictment and charges coming, you're not going out in the public. Jake is on the low. If not, he's on the run. Trump said, "Damn, they got 30 count indictment on me, man. What you want to eat tonight, babe? We're gonna go out to eat. I'm gonna treat you to a nice little dinner. Then I'll get online later and talk and troll everybody and talk about how this is bogus." See how it works with Esau, man, and don't work like that with us. Unbelievable. So believe the hype if you want to, but and if they do arrest him, cool, good. Get rid of this devil. Get him out the way, so we can see more clear what's going on. You understand? Get his ass out the way if he's You gonna get him, get him. But 9 times out of 10, man, they ain't gonna arrest this dude, man. I mean, you have worse things with the wiretaps and Watergate stuff going on with Nixon, man. They made him step down and replaced him before they arrested him, so he never, got caught up in that. I mean, if we really look at the track record of some of these presidents and all them, they doing all kind of dirt and folly while they're in office and after. They just don't bring it up. So they're historic. Oh, it's the first president ever, former president to ever get indicted and arrested. You probably look at these dudes' real track record, man. These dudes probably all should be getting locked up. But he's the example. Look at this. 5 years. This is the statute of limitations for bribery, which is what they were saying that he paid the harlot off for. The lawyer, Cohen, paid $130,000 to tell her shut up about her and Trump's little, affair. So that was the bribery, right? Mind you, 7 years ago this happened. Statute of limitations, after 5 years, it's done. You can't press no charges, it's over with, right? So how are they pulling this up when the statute of limitations has already been surpassed? Criminal violations of the FCPA anti-bribery provisions must be enforced within 5 years of the last act required to complete the crime or violation. This is why Trump was like, this is bogus. He knows it. What's he talking about? Please. You ain't got no case. So they were trying to drum up some more stuff. That's why they said, we got 30 other counts. Well, what are they? Oh, it's sealed. We can't tell you. Criminal violations of the books and records and internal controls provisions have a 6-year statute of limitations. So even if there is a violation of the books or the records, it only extends 1 year. This issue was 7 years ago. So this is why I really see, man, it's more political theater, more of a distraction. Uh, it just is what it is, man. Trump attorney says indictment has a quote complete lack of legal basis. So we see that. They know. CNN analyst says NYPD has ordered every cop in the city of every rank to show up in uniform tomorrow. You see how they hype it up? They was expecting mass riot and protests and people to wild out for him on Thursday. Did anything happen? No, no. But see how they pump it up? They try to get in. They trying to get into the red hat community and trying to get them to spark up. Come on, can we provoke you? And they like, "Yeah, we're seeing the same thing that everybody else is seeing. This is BS. No, you're not gonna entrap us again. January 6th, yeah, we went up there, wild out, did our thing. We got caught slipping. Y'all had, agents and provocateurs and all of that in the midst, set a lot of stuff off. They got caught slipping. They're trying to move more strategic, and Esau trying to think we ain't gonna just jump out the window for the dude anymore. But they're trying to get him. Come on, come on. We need more uproars of the people. So now they got all the cops lined up. Now that all the cops is on edge. See, and it nothing go down. But look, this is why. That's why I did that video DSTM last week. They really think, man, Trump is he said he's the chosen one. They really think this dude is Yahweh Shai. And the red hat community over there, the Make America Great cat, he's the savior. President Trump is our savior. Woman reads bonkers email live on air demanding DA to stop the torture of Trump. Remember how they try to compare him to Christ? I read that article last week in the DSTM. Oh, who had it worse, Christ or Trump? I mean, this is the blasphemy, and that's why they said, man, Yahweh Shai get crucified in this land by doing foolishness like that. Now, look at this. This is how you know, man. Stuff is all backwards, man. There goes our favorite, bedwinner, man, Karine Jean-Pierre. Conservatives slam Karine Jean-Pierre for saying the trans community is under attack. Uh, Okay. You read it just like I did. the transgender shooter of that Christian Covenant school, they're running around here. The trans community now is wilding out, talking about this is wrong uh, for misgendering the female. Yeah, they're saying forget about the fact that she done shot 6 people, killed herself, or got killed in the crossfire, or whatever. Forget about them. The real problem is that you're misgendering her. You said that a woman shot the school. She was a man. The headline should read "Man Shooter." You see the confusion? And now you get Karine Jean-Pierre, who's standing up for spiritual Sodom in America, and says, "Oh, the trans community is under attack days after a transgender shooter murdered 6 people at a Tennessee school." So America stands behind the trannies, and they say they're under attack. Not the fact that she just shot up a damn school, or she did it because of the pressures that the trans community has to live under. You know, could we have done that, man? Being black and Hispanic and Native American, when we were under attack, whole families being killed and murdered, being slaughtered in the streets by the police, so forth and so on. I mean, y'all know the names, you know the incidences. I don't have to go over them. We all know. The stained memories of our fallen stay with us. Are we talking about the Native American communities that were under attack? Huh? Did they have do they have the right to just go off and just spray down every Edomite that they see, or run down on the U.S. Capitol and say because we're under attack we need to go ahead and shoot, and it should be forgiven and understood why we did what we did? No, but there's a reason why they're out here protecting this particular community, because it's an embodiment of America now, spiritual Sodom. So she says, "Hey, they're under attack. Look at this. Let me share this with y'all, man. Look at this creature. Look at this creature, man. But just listen to this."
Trans people in Tennessee, it's time to fucking fight. Trans allies in Tennessee, it's time to fucking fight. Trans women, if they lock you up for identifying as a woman, fight.
Now I have to assume this is real, but it is just unreal. The argument that this dude is trying to make and what he's trying to incite. But watch this.
Resist. You're gonna die anyways. We're going to die anyways. It's time to fucking resist. Fight.
Now see, he's holding a little scepter as if he's some queen over this whole cult community. Because this is more or less what it's looking like, man. He looking like something straight out of damn spaceship with the scepter, talking to the rest of the cult community of the LGBTQ society of believers. You understand what I'm saying? Holding the scepter as if he's the queen, and he's telling them fight. Watch this.
Fight them. Hurt them. If they put their hands on you, beat them. We are at an attack. It's time to fight back. Do you hear me? Trans people in Tennessee, trans men, trans women, non-binary, fight. If they
Now, again, this is after the trans woman shot up the school and killed the kids. So he's doubling down, saying there needs to be more of that. We need more of that. I mean, has this dude been arrested? Has the FBI, CIA, anybody tracked him down? I mean, it's on social media, TikTok, inciting riot, inciting death. Listen to him.
They try to arrest you or have you arrested on a felony for existing, beat them, team up, gang together, get people who agree with you to come and fight. Carry a weapon at all times. And yes, you have to attack the police officer. Allegedly. But it's time. It's time. If they're going to try to jail and police you for existing, you fight them. You fight them. And if they lock you in prison, fuck up the guards. Bust out of prison. Jump in with other trans people. It's time we organize a prison bust in Tennessee, guys. It's time.
Do you hear this maniac? He said, like there's some holding cells where they just got a bunch of trannies locked away in the cell in the hole somewhere that need to be liberated because they're being held as political prisoners because of their gender dysphobia. I mean, this dude is out here talking about fight, kill the police, do everything. Why is this community not looked at as terrorists? They're quick to tell the Hebrew Israelites we're terrorists and seditious against America, this, that, and the third, because we read the Bible. This dude running around with a duct taped up fake scepter, running around talking about fight, resist, do coordinated jailbreaks, and they don't come against them for nothing, man. Let's continue.
It's time we organize a prison bust. It's time we start fighting. It's time. If they put their hands on you, fight them. Trans people, fight them. We will not let them create a genocide of trans people. I am so tired.
A genocide? Where is this genocide taking place at? Where is there mass deaths of trans people getting put to death? Has anybody seen that? Have y'all seen it? Because I'm missing that. I haven't seen any of the above taking place.
I was in a live the other day with 2 trans people who denied this. Out of my way. I disown any trans person who disagrees with this notion. You are not allowed at the fucking table. It's time to fucking fight. Trans genocide's around the corner. Stop debating cis people in your existence. I do not debate. My existence is not a conversation. We fucking fight now, or we die. And we're not gonna die debating cis people. They're gonna have the last word. They're joining your life to call you a man. They're joining your life to call you a woman. They're joining your life to misgender you, to get the right pronouns, to tell you that you're not existent. They're fucking with you and you're an idiot. Stop. You're gonna kill us all. Join together and start organizing a rally for resistance.
See, this is why we know that these people are mentally ill. The whole community, well, I hate to say the whole because I pray that some of our brothers and sisters in that community, man, repent, change their ways. But there's a real mental hold and a demon that's on these people. As you can see, man, that dude is under a whole delusion as if it's humans against the aliens. They're the aliens trying to survive, and there's a manhunt going on for all of them to be put to death and killed. Last time that I seen, the Secretary of Health is transgender in the U.S. government. One of the higher forms of office that can be held within this governmental structure is a tranny. Over 200. Let me see. I don't even want to misquote. Let me make sure. Okay, look at this. LGBTQ political representation jumped 21% in the past year. So they're on the way up. They're on the way up. Here's a list of them. He's saying that it's a whole federal in the executive offices, state, legislative, and these are ones that don't have pictures. So I keep scrolling. These are all names of people. Need I continue? I'm not even halfway down yet. He's saying that there's the genocide going on. They're out here dying, blah, blah, blah. Maybe you need to go to your own community who's part of this whole political system that you claiming is against you. Oh, maybe you need to go get in their ears because apparently they're part of the team. that's supposedly out here, persecuting you and chasing you down and locking you up yeah, here's the end of the list. Finally, we got this is all of them in office. Here we go, all of them. I'm still going up, man. I mean, give me a break, man, before I throw up. This maniac running around talking about time to fight, kill the police, blah blah blah. And then who and what backing do they get? Oh, Karine Jean-Pierre, who says they're under attack. So now the White House stands behind this maniac like him going live rather than seeking him out and persecuting him as a quote unquote terrorist because of terroristic threats that he just made, talking about fighting against the police and organizing prison breaks and everything else and fighting and trying to carry a weapon and all. Imagine if it was an Israelite man standing behind here, like me or any other brother, saying, it's time for us to fight. We need to take back our existence. They've been lying to us about who we are. Don't let them tell you that you're black. Don't let them tell you that you're Mexican. Don't let them tell you that you're Native American. Don't let them tell you that you're Cuban or Puerto Rican or Jamaican. We're Israelites and we need to fight back and arm yourselves. And anybody that comes up and tells you differently, ride on them. Can you imagine how fast they would shut us down, man? How Jake's locked up, slandered, beaten, killed. Can you imagine? And do you think Karine Jean-Pierre would stand up there and say, yeah, the black community is under attack? The Israelite community is under attack. So, we understand why they're outraged. No, no. We can't even bring out Ecclesiastes 7:7 and say, surely oppressor maketh a wise man mad without somebody saying, why are you so mad? Why are you upset? I mean, calm down. The Christians slither up on their bellies and say, you can get more bees with honey. You guys need to tone it down a little bit. No, the Lord said, cry aloud and spare not. I'm not doing that. Why? To make you feel a little bit better? Oh, you're upset. You're offending me. Oh, you're violent. Let me get away from you guys. You're intimidating. They run around posing with guns and doing the whole nine, man, and no problems. Matter of fact, the White House doubled down and says, we got your back. Let's continue. Look at this. Gun control activists stormed Tennessee state capitol in Nashville after trans shaman joined occupation in Kentucky legislature as fears of a left-wing uprising loom ahead of Trans Day of Vengeance. Now, did we see or hear about any of this in major news? This was their January 6th, but they held it at the Tennessee Legislature House. The capital of Nashville, they went and did it. And here go their version of the damn January 6th shaman, the Q shaman. Here he is. This is their version. They ran the whole same play. Look at them. State troopers here, man. They back here wilding out, yelling, screaming, need to be restrained. Storming the Nashville state capitol. No real major press coverage on it. When that thing happened over there in January 6th, that was on every news station, every radio station, multiple YouTube channels was all covering it, talking about it the whole night. The trannies go out there, man. They wild out down there in Tennessee, no problem. And then the White House says they're under attack. They have every right to go ahead and do what they're doing, And if you get in their way, you're a hater. Gun control activists stormed Tennessee state capitol in Nashville after the trans summit. Now, mind you, this is after the shooting. So how can gun control activists be involved with the trans? Look at this. You see the sign? Listen to trans kids. Trans people belong. I don't see anything about stop guns, gun control, anything. But they label this as gun control activists. Meanwhile, it's a mob of trannies that came to try to take over Nashville. Gun control activists were seen storming Tennessee state capitol Thursday amid rising fears of a left-wing uprising and rumored protests in Washington, D.C. They had to cancel this Trans Day of Vengeance. I just talked about it, covered it last Wednesday, Hump Day. They were planning to have a whole riot. They were going to repeat this in D.C. but they had to shut it down because there was too many threats, too many fears of violence, and they said we're not having it. Don't come up here. It's going to be an issue. So they had to cancel it. So they were supposed to be wilding out today. They canceled it, but they did a preview in Tennessee, and there's no talk about it. Nobody, no mainstream media, nobody's tripping off of this. And it wasn't like it was peaceful. Look, does this look like they peaceful with the damn guards just trying to block off the wall and people and shoving people back and holding arms up and telling them back away? Is this peaceful protest? And I don't see nothing about anti-gun or gun control. It's all about listen to the trans, listen to us. We're people too. We want in. We want control. Since when can you go shoot up a school, kill 6 people, and then have mobs of people come out and support it and storm the wild and nothing happens? Only in America, man. Only in America. All right. So this is what they're doing. Tomorrow's Trans Day Adventist March in D.C. is canceled due to credible threat to life and safety in wake of Nashville school massacre. So they were supposed to wild out today in honor of her, and they canceled it. Okay. California reparations amount, if any, is left to the politicians. So here we go. They said, well, now Nick Rose is waking up again. Throw out play the reparations card again, man. Maybe they're gonna get some. Maybe we're gonna get some money. I'm gonna just show you how more foolish this thing is going. It just becomes even more unbelievable how they're just throwing around numbers and money as if this stuff really exists, as if California has this money, as if there's real power behind Jake's running up in the city councils and demanding, give us our money. It's ours anyway. The leader of the California First in the Nation Reparations Task Force on Wednesday said it won't take a stance on how much the state would compensate Black residents, whom economists estimate may be owed more than $800 billion for decades of over-policing, disappropriate incarceration, and housing discrimination. So somehow they got some economists to say, you know what? We rounded out the figures for everything that they're going through, man. About $800 billion. Yeah. Meanwhile, California is already broke. They overspent their budget last year. They're already coming into 2023 in debt. But somehow 800 billion is just going to come up out of nowhere. That they're entertaining this talk. They just say, man, let the niggas talk, man. Let them say what they want. Yeah, oh yeah. We agree. Yes, it's been terrible the way we policed you. Oh, you've definitely been victims of mass incarceration. Yeah, and we know about the housing situation. Yes. How much do you need? Oh, are you listening? Are you listening now, boss? Okay, we want 800 billion. No. First, we want 5 million apiece. Oh, is that all? Well, we'll make it 300 billion. 300? Is that it? You sure that's it? 800 billion. Sure. Okay, 800 billion it is. Anything else you want, nigga? You think that's how it's going down, man? And Jake sitting back saying, yeah. See that? Man, they listen to us, man. They gonna give us $800 billion. America can't even get $800 billion to pay its own damn debts. How the hell they gonna pay a damn Negro $800 billion? I mean, come on. The 800 billion is more than 2.5 times California's 300 billion annual budget. Hello, America ain't got. California ain't got that money, and they can't go get it from the government to say, "Well, we need an increase of our budget so we can pay off these niggas and shut them up." America gonna say, "Are you sick? Do you know the avalanche that will happen? Mississippi will be next. Arkansas will be next. Georgia, Texas. All the damn countries, man. Philly, New York. Everybody's gonna want it now. You think we got it? Shut that down over there, California. That's not happening. So continuing on, 800 billion is more than 2.5 times California's $300 billion budget, and does not include a recommended $1 million per older Black resident for health disparities that have shortened their average lifespan. Nor does that figure count compensating people for property unjustly taken by the government or devaluing Black business to other harms the task force says the state perpetuated. So they're saying that's lowball 800 billion. That's not even covering other compensations that's due. That's why they're saying, "Oh, is that? Let's just make it a trillion. How about that, man? You niggas want $1 trillion? Cool. We got you. Yeah. Anything else you want to talk about?" And the Negro sitting back scratching his head. Damn, they really listen, man. We on our way. Really? So see, this is what I'm talking about. California Reparation Task Force increases amount and demanding 800 billion from 640. And then they say it's only a down payment with even more money needed in the future. So they got these Negroes out here, man, just living the dream. Oh yeah, yeah. Just 800. That's just a down payment, man. We're gonna give you niggas everything you want afterwards. Don't worry. You're gonna own California. Matter of fact, just figure out who you want to be the next governor and the mayors of all the cities, and we're just gonna hand it over to you, man. Y'all already got enough money to run the country. I mean, run the state. We operating off of 300 billion. Y'all got 800 billion. You can just run the state. How about that? You niggas like that? Oh, damn. Okay, boss. Yeah. Give us all of it. What? Then we just read in Isaiah, man. We're going to be redeemed without money. The reparations is just a complete joke. That ain't happening at all. At all. But it makes a good conversation piece. Keeps Jakes distracted. Keeps their hopes up and hoping that America, compensates us. Man, he's finally gonna pay us back, man. He'll give us what he owes. Really? Well, Isaiah says differently through the word of the Lord. Isaiah 30. Woe to the rebellious children, saith Yahweh, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with the covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin. Because you know what? They thinking, oh, the covering, we're gonna be covered with this money because the money's gonna take care of it. Really? What is Jake gonna do when they get that money? They're gonna add sin to sin. Jake gonna go out there and buy all pints of lean, weed. They're gonna invest in drugs. They're gonna try to flip it and do all kind of madness. They're gonna invest in businesses and hustles to rob their own people. Jake gonna be ignorant. Gonna give it right back into the system. Gonna go buy the new Tesla. Gonna go buy the new Mercedes. Oh, we're gonna go on these cruises. We're gonna go buy these boats. You just seen what happened when all the Jakes got all that money from these damn PPP loans and EDD scams. What do they have to show for it? Some of them took that money and made some investments. Oh, I got some crypto. I learned about the stock market trade. I started my own business, my own food truck and everything else. Cool, cool, cool. But as a whole, our people didn't do nothing but take that money, man, and got rebellious and wicked with it. Started they failed rap careers. Finally got the money, man. I'm gonna get my studio. I'm gonna pay for views. I'm gonna do everything. I'm gonna be the next biggest rapper, man. I'm gonna do this. Nothing came of it, man. So the Lord said they're gonna add sin to sin. That's why you can't give. Remember, that's why Dave Chappelle and that damn Rick James skit is so funny when he said they should have never gave you niggas money. It went straight to your heads. When Rick James crashed the couch. Was it Prince or one of them? I can't remember. But that was a famous quote he said on there. Should have never gave you niggas money. Verse 2. That walk to go down to Egypt and have not asked of my mouth to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. So we just got to seeing the value of the dollar. Everything else is crashing, man. America ain't got the money to help sustain anything. Hold on one second, y'all. My battery's dying out. Let me check my cord. Hold on. All right, Shalaki, my what's the name? Um, My computer almost died. I'm gonna have to plug it in. All right, so let's get back over here. So we see here they thinking the money's gonna answer the and gonna come to the rescue, but they strengthening themselves in the shadow of Egypt, and the Most High is not pleased with that. That walk to go down into Egypt and have not asked in my mouth to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh and to trust in the shadow of Egypt, trusting in the failed economy, trusting in the failing dollar, trusting in the fact that you think he's gonna have his best interest at heart for us, man. Good old Pharaoh, man. He gonna take care of us now, right? When he said, "Man, you only brought over here to serve your captivity." All of a sudden now he's gonna treat us good. All of a sudden now everything's gonna be great. Look at Micah. Micah 2:10. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. Oh, but our people figure, oh, if we get this 800 billion, oh, we set. The Most High said, man, depart, get up out of this place, man. Mentally, spiritually, politically, any entrapments that this place got lined up. The Lord said, man, stay away from it. This is not going to be your final resting place, man. Our destiny is to go back to our homeland, to go back east, to be delivered up out of this place, not to try to make your rest haven America. And then trusting in the shadow of Egypt, man, praying that America continues on, trying to help build up and continue the reputation. Going and going, I'm gonna go and enlist in the military, man. I ain't got nothing else going on. I'm gonna go ahead and fight to keep America alive. Why? So you can continually be oppressed and be downtrodden. I'm gonna go, I'm gonna go do this, whatever the case may be, to continue on keeping this place afloat. The Lord said, "This ain't your rest. If a Jake was to get that 800 billion, they all gonna come right back home. They gonna flood it right back into the system again. That's how it's rigged." The Lord said, "He that earneth wages earneth it to put it into a bag full of holes." In Haggai 1:6. As fast as it comes in, is as fast as it goes. Unfortunately, man, our people, we not financially literate. We don't know what to do when we get some money besides spend it. So the Lord said, "Look, this is not your rest because it is polluted. It will destroy you even with a sword destruction." Right? Verse 3, going back to Isaiah. It says, "Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion." So our people trusting in the shadow of Egypt. Let's let you know, man, Egypt is gone. He's looking at what was behind it, what was left. Standing in the shadows, our people's trusting in the old way, the old oppression, thinking that, good old Pharaoh, Governor Newsom, he's going to take care of us. Oh, yeah, he's going to get us that 800 billion, man. He says so. Since when does he tell us the truth? When's Esau tell us the truth, man? Counting on California to come with it, man, just because he opens up a city council hall and hears you out doesn't mean anything. You see them city councils be coming in all the time. The public can always come in and speak. Oh, yeah, yeah. Don't worry. We got a task force set up, man. We got it all set up for you. We're going to assign this task force. Matter of fact, we're going to put a black woman over it. You trust her, right? You trust one of your own, don't you? Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Because a woman's going to compass a man. So we're going to appoint this black woman over these reparations to make sure that y'all get what you deserve. And we have already estimated 800 billion is bare minimum, just down payment of what you deserve. How's that sound? That sound good. Yeah, yeah. You get back to, yeah, we're going to get back to you. Don't call us. We'll call you. All right. See you later. All right. Brothers walk out there. How you think that went? It went good, man. Shit sounded like they were listening to us. Yeah. Trusting in the shadow of Egypt, man. Good luck with that. Meanwhile, 3 earthquakes occurred within minutes, jolting California's Bay Area. Arkansas on a mass casualty alert with at least 3 dead, dozens trapped, and more than 600 injured after monster tornado flattened neighborhoods and tossed trucks into trees. 21 states now bracing for more twisters. The tempest and the destructions of the Lord is kicking in. You understand? Mississippi got hit last week. Arkansas this week. More. It's at 21 states now embracing, getting ready for more. Now I don't even know. Is it? Well, I know in the Caribbean, in Mexico, like tornado season, that's like in the fall, our fall. But it seemed kind of early or late for these things to be twisting up. But who knows? I mean, it happens so frequently now. It's like, is there a season, or are these things just coming? But we know the judgment of the Lord is already on the loose. But everybody's worried about whether or not Trump is going to, really go to jail or not. Little Rock, Arkansas was hit by a severe tornado that caused significant damage to buildings and trees and vehicles. Tornadoes destroyed homes and downed trees in and around Little Rock, leaving 3 people dead, dozens trapped, and hundreds injured. National Weather Service tracked at least 3 dozen unconfirmed tornado reports: Arkansas, Tennessee, Illinois, and Iowa. 3 dozen. That's what, 36 on the way? Man, the Most High is incredible, man. And that's what makes it so crazy is that Esau really thinks he can fight against the Most High. Revelation 12 tell you he's going to try to fight against the Most High and Michael and the angels and the Most High, right? Or the legion of angels. Yahweh Shai, I should say, not the Most High. He can't stand a chance. All the Most High got to do: send a storm, send a tempest, man. Lights, electricity, power go out. The grid gets rocked. It's over with. Technology and everything that Esau relies on would be done. No more radar system, no more guidance system, no more flying the planes, no more, utilizing of the internet. Nope. Most I shut all that down. And then you get hit with the cherries. Then you get hit with everything. We shut don't stand a chance, man. These hurricanes are going to cause billions of dollars in damage, let alone food supply, water supply. All that stuff is going to be impacted because of this. All of the debris, they got to clean up everything else, man. And that's just one little breath from the Most High. Most High go, and all of this goes down. One tornado causing all this havoc in one state, and he got 36 more lined up. That's not being tracked but unconfirmed. Imagine that. Oh, shattered. Catholic community confronts its founders' lies. Tell us something we don't know. When are our people that's caught up in Catholicism, man? There's plenty of our people, man, black and Hispanic, that's caught up in Catholicism. You constantly seeing all of these things. I'm constantly bringing them out, and our people still saying, "Hail Mary, full of grace." You know, running around with your damn ashes on your forehead right now. So, where's Lent at in the Bible? Can you find that for me, please? Oh, it's not there. Oh, okay. Uh, you know, show me Good Friday for Easter. 3 days, 3 nights. If you died on Good Friday, 3 days later will lead you to Monday. Friday to Saturday, Saturday to Sunday, Sunday to Monday. That's 3 days. Why are we celebrating Easter on Sunday? It should be Monday. I mean, it's just simple stuff that we look at. Many of our people know this, but you break it down to our people, man, who's caught up in this idol, uh, obsessed doctrine known as Catholicism, man, that's controlled the churches and the world for centuries now. They can't break loose. So look at this. The findings of an initial expert report were astonishing. Oh, really? One of the 20th century's revered Catholic leaders who built an international movement of community care for people with intellectual disabilities perverted Catholic doctrine about Jesus and Mary to justify his own sexual compulsions and abuse women. The findings of a second report were even worse. The movement he created had at its core a secret, mystical, sexual sect. It was founded for the precise purpose of hiding the sex deviant activities from church authorities. I mean, remember the Pope I just brought him out not too long ago? That he was having orgies with the damn nuns in the church. I mean, let's not talk about the pedophilia cases going on. Sodomite priests. Why are they constantly so sexually obsessed, man? What's with all of this deviant behavior that's going on in the Catholic Church, man? Everything seems to be sexual. Everything seems to be sexual with them. Let alone the money laundering and everything else that goes on. The money and all that ain't the doctrine, that ain't even the biggest thing. They're all like sexually obsessed, man. Ran by a plague of damn pedophiles sodomites, and sexually repressed women, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Like now they're trying to confront the founders about lies. Okay, are they gonna walk away now? Blacks, Native Americans, Hispanics, man, ex-Catholics, man, come on home. Get the truth, repent. All right. A blaze still burns after a train carrying highly flammable ethanol derailed in Minnesota. Crews are assessing 3 more cars carrying ethanol. So the train crashes still continue. Oh, but don't worry about it because we got Trump to keep you distracted. Ethanol, they and you if you've seen the cars derailed and they're in the damn Ohio River. And they said, "Oh, don't worry about it. There's no signs of leaks." Yeah, we got that much understood. Really? How do you know? We know every time he says everything's under control, it's really not. So these things are on fire. Why? Because of the dang ethanol. But they said, "Oh, it's fine. Don't worry about it." A train hauling ethanol derailed Thursday morning in Raymond, Minnesota, igniting several rail cars and forcing a mandatory evacuation of about 800. Officials said the fire was still burning 14 hours after the derailment. The U.S. EPA said Thursday afternoon an EPA team was in Raymond by 6:30 to conduct air quality monitoring. So there you go, another crash. This was in Minnesota. There was another one that crashed in I believe it was in Ohio. I didn't even put that. I don't think I put that one in here, but let me see. Uh, was it Ohio? Maybe it wasn't Ohio. Yeah, here, go down here. I don't know why these other. See, this was 3 days ago from India TV. See, all the damn American uh, outlets ain't even talking about it. Ohio train derailment may turn into the worst toxic river disaster as 10 toxic chemical barges plunged. This was 3 days ago. There it goes down there in the Ohio River. That's different from the one we just got to talking about in Minnesota. So, you know, imagine that. But everything's under control, man. Esau's got it under control. Don't worry. Back to Mississippi. We talked about it last week. Why and what's going on in Mississippi? We just seen the Minnesota, the tornadoes smash up Mississippi, flooding the water supply, man, because of what? All of the damages and the things that they've done to our people. Recently, the recent lynchings of the brother down there. Now look at this. Deputies accused of shoving guns in blacks. Let me get this right. Deputies accused of shoving guns in mouths of 2 black men. Where did this happen? Brandon, Mississippi. Several deputies from a Mississippi Sheriff's Department being investigated by the Justice Department for civil rights violations have been involved in at least 4 violent encounters with black men since 2019 that left 2 dead and another with lasting injuries. These guys are already been on record. We're having violent encounters with Jake since 2019. One ended up dead and others having injuries. And they're saying, oh, this is possible violations. These guys got a track record of it. Shot a gun in Jake's mouth, threatening him. Look at this. 2 of the men alleged that Rankin County Sheriff's Department shoved guns into their mouths during separate encounters. In one case, a deputy pulled the trigger, leaving the man with wounds that required parts of his tongue to be sewn back together. In one of the 2 fatal confrontations, the man's mother said the deputy kneeled on her son's neck while he told them he couldn't breathe. This is going on in Mississippi, right? Look at this. Ex-rep legislative plans in Mississippi are Jim Crow 2.0. So now they're trying to pass legislations to where Jackson, Mississippi, which is a predominantly black city, where they can elect and have their own judges and law system placed. They're going to be appointed by outside Edomites who don't even live in Jackson. They're going to give them white judges, white judicial systems, and uh, state patrol and all that other stuff. Where they used to be able to vote for their own, now they said, no, 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 you niggas can't vote no more. You ain't got no say so. We're going to be putting in who we want in there. So they want to control Jakes with the judicial system. And Jakes know it, and they like, hold on, you taking away our right to vote. You taking away our ability to elect who we want. No, yeah, welcome to America, man. That's why we telling our people the system is rigged. You can't vote your way into nothing, man. Anytime he wants to take power back, he will. A former Mississippi lawmaker says efforts by the majority white state legislature to create courts with appointed rather than elected judges and to expand patrols by state police inside the majority black capital city of Jackson amount to quote Jim Crow 2.0. One more reasons why Mississippi's under such judgment because they still trying to roll with the good old boy mentality. But see, this is what happens when our people trust in the system, trusting in the shadow of Egypt, thinking like this is going to be a place where they have a say so in the voice. Not at all. Efforts by the majority of white Mississippi legislature to create courts with appointed rather than elected judges and to expand patrols by state police inside the majority black capital city of Jackson amount to Jim Crow 2.0, a Democratic former state lawmaker said Tuesday. So they're going to have appointed white judges in there, and they're expanding their patrols because they want to make sure they keep the niggas in Jackson, Mississippi in line. So they're going to expand police patrolling around this black neighborhood where they ain't going to have nothing but white cops making sure that the natives don't get restless. And if you do, you're going to go see the white judge that's going to, slam the door on you if you try to get uppity. Good old Mississippi. All right. Now, look at this. Before we go there, hold on. Actually, no. Let's read this first. Scriptures. I gotta bring out a couple scriptures on this. Many of our people don't even know that the 15th Amendment, which quote unquote gives so-called blacks the right to vote, is not absolute. It gets renewed under certain presidents after a certain amount of time. They can strip it anytime they want to. That's why our people talking about, man, you got to vote. You don't vote, we don't count. Da, da, da. White man can take your ability to vote anytime he want to. As the people in Mississippi, as we just seen. Look at it. Voting Rights Act renewed for 25 years by the president. This is from 2016. 2006, I should say. An article. And I remember reading this and bringing this out years ago back then. 25 years, you got an extension. Negroes got an extension to vote for another 25 years. So they said we can trust the niggas to vote for another 25. Things don't go the way we want. If we can't control them, they start having an insurrection. They turn their back on the Democratic Party. If they start trying to create their own, systematic votes and trying to break away, well, we'll just cut them off where they can't vote no more. So this technically wasn't supposed to be up, I believe, because 1965, right? So if we did 25 years, I think technically it wasn't supposed to get renewed till like 2015. But George Bush signed it early in 2006. They extended another 25 years, right? So that means what? By 20 years is 2026. So by 2028, which would be the next election year, follow me, they could say no more voting for you niggas. We're not extending it. What are we gonna do? That's when they institute a whole totalitarian state and say that you can't vote on it. Oh, you don't like it? The camps is waiting for you. SWAT teams is on call. You understand? President Bush yesterday signed a 25-year extension in 1965 Voting Rights Act and vowed to quote vigorously enforce the law, which outlawed racist voting practices in the South and cleared the way for millions of Black Americans to vote. So, do we see the game? As long as you niggas stay in line, we'll keep acting as if you got some power in the vote. But as soon as you don't, we'll revoke that and we'll take it out the case. If it was really about all equality for men, blah, 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 there wouldn't be no reason to extend an act. It just should be outright granted. But there's always a little string attached to reel it back in the event that you act up. Oh, we'll take that off the table. So it ain't absolute. You understand? He had to extend the vote. The damn bastard can take it away anytime you want. That's why we say, man, you don't vote. Don't even involve yourself in the tricks. Deuteronomy 17:15. Thou shalt in any wise set him king over thee, whom the Most High Yahweh thy power shall choose. One from among thy brethren shalt thou set king over thee, that thou mayest not set a stranger over thee, which is not thy brother. So it is against the law to even vote for one of another nation, to allow him to rule over you. You don't take part in it. That's what thus saith the Lord says. That's law. We just got through seeing in Isaiah 30 about going to woe unto them that trust in the shadow of Egypt and go to them for help. Proverbs 3:31. Envy thou not the oppressor and choose none of his way. Choose who you voting for. The elections coming up 2024, man. We got to get rid of Biden. We got to get in DeSantis. If we can't get in DeSantis, well, maybe we should get Kamala. Whatever. What? No, we're doing none of the above. None of the above. The Lord said, don't choose none of his ways. He puts out these options, man. Republican, Democrat. Which one you gonna be? Neither. See, that's the problem with you, man. We can't get ahead if we don't vote. We control the system. Where did you get that idea? Who told you about that? Well, that's the way the system is. White man said this is how we all got a fair share, man. We all got a voice, man. Oh, he told you that too? Oh, okay. He gave you that narrative to speak on? Okay. So you're not speaking from your own? You're not speaking from the word of the Lord? You're not speaking from your creator? Can you speak on what he said, or would you rather say what boss told you? Well, boss, I can see the boss. I can talk to the boss. I can't see God. Then you got to deal with that damn dynamic. Look at it. Psalms 2. Why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? The kings of the earth set themselves and the rulers take counsel together against the Most High and against his anointed. So everything that the kings of the earth, man, and the rulers, we know. Psalms 83 says that they're confederate against us. The nations against us. America's against it. They have nothing that's in our good interest, man. The political system, not in our good interest. We can see that. That's what I'm saying. These jakes run around talking about, oh, we're going to get reparations, man. Get ready. A windfall of cash is going to come sliding down our chimneys every damn. What? Not at all. It said the kings of the earth, they set themselves in the ruler state council against the Most High. That's why we just got to seeing the article about Karine Jean-Pierre standing in arms, lockstep with the damn trans community, talking about they're under attack. So we need to go ahead and forgive them taking, posting guns online, threatening the community. That damn creature that we just seen earlier. Fight back. You see what I'm saying? That's pardoned because they're against the Most High and His creation, against his anointed, saying, "What? Let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from." They don't want to be held held accountable to the Most High's judgments. They don't want to be held accountable. They don't want to be afflicted by they saying, "Let us break their bands asunder, get the constraints of the Most High." We don't want that, and cast His cords away from us. They don't want to. They didn't want to deal with it. What's the? Let me show you a precept in Isaiah 5. See, look at it. Isaiah 5:18 says, "Woe unto them that draw iniquity with cords of vanity, and sin as it were with a cart rope." So the cords and the rope are representations of iniquity and sin. They want to be broken free so that they can be involved in iniquity and sin. They don't want to be wrapped in the righteousness of the Most High. So they're saying, let us break the bands asunder to get the cords off of us, because they want to go to the cords and the bands of wickedness, sin, iniquity, because they're against the Most High. But our people run around here talking about we need to vote. But if the white man can take it away by 2028, we'll see. Remember, Bush did it early in 2006. So by 2018, if it's 25 years, have we seen slow Biden sign anything early to renew the vote? No. And he's up next year. But guaranteed he's going to try to probably pull that out as a means to persuade the votes for 2024 if he's trying to run again. Hey, look, I just extended y'all vote again. You better vote me in because otherwise, man, the Republicans wouldn't do that. He said that with Trump. He said, man, if you don't vote for me, you vote for him. You're going back in chains. So I mean, and look who's suffering worse. Slow Biden. Under him, Jake's back in chains and all jacked up. Look at it, Andrew Jackson, same one Jake running around. This quote is attributed to him. If blacks were given, I think he's on the $10 bill. Everybody running around with this money. If blacks were given the right to vote, that would place every splay-footed, bandy-shanked, humpbacked, thick-lipped, flat-nosed, woolly-headed, even-colored in the country upon an equality with the poor white man. So Andrew Jackson, slave owner, was against Jake's voting, and he's being paraded around on money, celebrated. So if this is what he's thinking, why wouldn't his ancestors and the system that he supports stand on the same type of thing? Let's look at a couple more, man, before we wrap it up, man. Look at this. The World Health Organization says healthy children and teens probably don't need a little help in the arm. Well. You notice how all of a sudden now uh, the narrative is changing. Oh, guess what? There is some evidence about where this thing originated from. Oh, we are seeing that there was funding that was going on for the experimentation. Yeah, I'm trying to be cool because you know what time it is. I'm still walking the line over here. Oh, remember when they were saying kids need to get it? We need to put it on the same cycle as all the other vaccination charts, scheduled vaccinate. They need it. First they said no, youth don't need it. Oh, we're 18 years old. Yeah, we need it. 15. Oh, 12. You know what? Actually, 5-year-olds can get it. Matter of fact, 3-year-olds is good. Oh, we need to get them right out the womb, man. 6 months. They need to get it. Remember all of that? All the pressure, all the hell that they put families and people through, all the fear that they had everybody lined up on. Now, all of a sudden, the WHO comes out and says, actually, if they're healthy and teen, you don't need it. So, what happened to all of the parents who got caught up in bamboozle? Remember, even the schools was running around with petitions saying, you don't need to consult your parents. We can give it to you at the school. No worries. Don't tell mom and dad. Remember all of that? And now all of a sudden, oh, actually, you didn't need it. Well, what did you give me? Oh, it's going to boost your immune system. Don't worry. You're going to be good. Very interesting how things are taking a turn for the truth. But I only can say that people, some of these news outlets man, are starting to switch their tune because if people start getting arrested or killed over this whole thing that went on, if some wrongdoings get put on, they're trying to save face with reputation and say, well, hey, look, I didn't I promoted the truth. Look, I said this is what it was. Or you said, well, no, for 2 years you was out here backing the Mockingbird media information. You help people jump in this whole little cesspool of confusion and mandates and all of that. No. Look, I said the teens don't need it. Look, I'm innocent. They try to cover their tracks. It's a little too late for that, man. So, you see what's happening. It's all coming out. As this comes out, Health insurers will no longer have to cover tests for cancer, vaccine shots, and other screenings for deadly diseases after a court ruling. Let me read that again. And I work in that field, and them things ain't cheap. Now they're telling insurance companies you don't have to cover tests for cancer, those mandated treatments, and other screenings for deadly diseases. So, what is that going to do to the poor folks who can't afford to go get checked, who can't afford to go find out if they got some issues going on? Bye bye. You can't find out early detection and all that other stuff, man. Colonoscopy, mammograms, all that preventative care, screening, nothing. Don't have to cover it. Out of pocket. You want to find out if you're sick? You want to find out if you got cancer? Oh, you got to pay. As the economy's going off, layoffs is going down. Whole companies crashing down. The dollar ain't worth what it used to be. And now they tell you, well, you're going to have to scrape up some money for your health if you want it. Judge Reed O'Connor ruled the mandate violated religious freedoms. The same justice struck down the entire ACA in 2017, and it was later overruled. Look at it. Americans may have to pay for their own colonoscopies, mammograms, and other preventative screenings, even if they have health insurance. U.S. District Judge Reed O'Connor, who was appointed to the bench in 2007 by President George W. Bush, ruled Thursday that an Affordable Care Act rule requiring insurers to cover screenings was unconstitutional. The Obamacare rule has forced private health insurers to cover these screenings since March of 2010. Judge O'Connor has been an advisory of the transformative healthcare law. In 2017, he struck down the law in its entirety. The ruling was reversed by the Supreme Court. So imagine that. As they're promoting and putting out health scares, cancers at all-time highs, all this other stuff, man. And they telling you, oh, well, if you want the treatments, you want to prevent it, well, you're gonna have to pay for it. Well, they got to make up a lot of that money because of how much the insurance companies were paying out because of the health scare over the last few years from deaths and treatments and shots and everything else. They're saying, hey, we paid out all this money, man. We almost went belly up. And some companies did. They plead to the courts, line the pockets, and say, hey, we need to make a little money back. That's how it works. Oh, slow Biden sick again. Biden 80 apologized for having another cold as president battles cough and hoarse voice in the summit for democracy with Zelensky and other world leaders. If y'all seen the video, man, he's back to, coughing and sounding all jacked up after he's been at least quadruple treated for the things. I apologize for the slight cold I have. This dude been sick more times than any president I can recall of. Constantly up there clearing his throat, coughing every minute, getting lost everywhere. I mean, what's going on? Apparently, them pokes in his arm ain't helped. Ain't stopped him from falling up the stairs. But this is what we see, man. Just more evidence. We talk about it under Satan's authority, man. America being the embodiment and the central location of where Satan, how it operates, man. Satan is getting hot as hell in American pop culture. They talk about statistics now, man. The belief in the Most High is down. Um, Priorities as far well, they did a poll about patriotism, religion, and what was most important. I didn't put it on here, but there's a poll that they did. I think in comparison to like 10 years ago, something like that. Patriotism, religion, and all that up. It was up. Both and everything is down like 20 and 30%. They talk about people don't care about nothing but money right now. All people want is some money. Sustainability. Why? Because they're looking at the crashing of the world and what's going on. They're like, look, all I care about is surviving. I just need to get this money. So the influences of Satan, man, Demon possessed and everything else is all coming through. They're getting ready to make a killing on it. In this article, they talked about the movies. Right here it says, "I'm your nightmare." Possessed child tells Russell Crowe, "My nightmare is France winning the World Cup." The actor fires back in April 14th release. The Pope's Exorcist, opening the same day as Nefarious, a movie about a psychiatrist who must determine whether a man on death row who claims to be possessed by the devil is mentally fit enough to be executed. And I guarantee you that this guy on death row possessed by the devil is a white man. Saying like we see this guy over here who was singing at the Grammys and was being applauded for his performance about being unholy and him being Satan incarnate and all of his harlots dancing on the damn stage. And this dude is a damn fat sodomite. Nothing against anybody overweight, but I had to add some emphasis just for him being who he is. You see, November 2021, a Pew Research reported that 62% of American adults believe in hell, up from 58% in 2014, and pop culture appears to be taking full advantage of the curiosity that surrounds hell and its inhabitants. So there you see it. The devil is front and center in movies, TV shows, podcasts, and even children's books. There are Satan after school clubs, while the proliferating of Satanist groups have their own political divisions. So, if we're wondering if this place is promoting Satanism, if it's not possessed by Satan and the driving force behind this beast is Satan, I mean, I don't know what to tell you, man. We read it before. Revelation 13 and Revelation 12 says that the dragon gave power unto the beast. The dragon was characterized and known as Satan, that old serpent, the devil. Said that this beast, final beast, was going to be given power by it. And now we're seeing his representations here. It wants to be made manifest. And who can it operate through? None other than the so-called white man. You ain't gonna get no black man and no Hispanic man gonna be promoting Satan and moving out there like this publicly and have the power to make it manifest in front of the public for everybody to see. Only the white man has the power to do so, and he's doing it. Just like I said, TV shows, movies, podcasts, books, Satan clubs, Baphomet statues all over the dang place. You understand? And this is how he does it. That's how he does it, man. The devil in the flesh, showing his rulership, showing his kingdom, exploiting everybody out there, man, entrapping everybody into his folly. It's all here. Y'all see what time it is, man. We made it. Another one. Hopefully everybody's, preparing, getting themselves assessed and ready for Passover. Like I said, we'll be keeping ours on Tuesday the 4th, sundown. Um, Traveling out, we gotta go get our lambs. Got to go through the procedures of getting it prepped and ready to go so we can slap it on that grill and cook it out. Hopefully everybody's doing their spring cleaning, getting rid of your leaven. I'll be obligated. The biggest thing, I did cover it before, but just briefly, um, let me share this one more time. I didn't. Let me share my screen, Shalaki. Uh, just so everybody knows, any first time keepers, man, the leaven is important. And just briefly, we're looking at this. 1 Corinthians 5, 7, and 8. Purge out there for the old leaven, that ye may be a new lump, as ye are unleavened. For Mashiach Yahushua, our Passover is sacrificed for us. Verse 8. Therefore, let us keep the feast, not with old leaven, neither with the leaven of malice and wickedness, but with the unleavened bread of sincerity and truth. So when we're looking at why we're removing this leaven, why it needs to be removed out of our coast, why do we have to purge and actually fast from the things of swelling and exaltation and malice and wickedness? Because all it does is manifest and make itself even worse and build and compound, is because it represents malice and wickedness. The unleavened bread that we do partake of and that we eat is sincerity and truth. That's what the Most High wants us to concentrate on. That's what He wants us to be an embodiment of when we're serving Him, sincere and truthful, and how we're trying to serve Him and keeping the commandments and following after the righteousness of the Lord and keeping of the ceremonial rites of the Passover. So that's why it's important when you're going through your leaven list. I sent everybody the list. If you haven't gotten it, look at the community post. Download it, man. Go get it. It's important because there can't be, like I said in Deuteronomy, we looked at it in 16, where it said that all of the leaven must be removed out of our coast. So there's no hiding it. Because what are we essentially saying? That we're going to be hiding our sins. We're going to be hiding our iniquity. We're just going to be putting it off. We want the Most High to hopefully not see the inner workings that we did not take part in. Okay, let me get that one more in Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy 16. Okay, verse 3. Thou shalt eat no leavened bread with it. 7 days shalt thou eat unleavened bread therewith, even the bread of affliction. For thou camest forth out of the land of Egypt in haste, that thou mayest remember the day when thou camest forth out of the land of Egypt all the days of thy life. So when we eat this bread of affliction, the Most High even told us, although He gives us the bread of adversity, I'm gonna need that one. I think it's in Isaiah, yeah, 30. So when we take part in, make sure that y'all got your unleavened bread. Got to eat it 7 days, beginning with day one in the evening, all the way to the last day. You have to partake in unleavened bread every day. It ain't just the first day, okay? Because the reminders is what? Though the Lord give you the bread of adversity and the water of affliction, yet shall not thy teachers be removed into a corner anymore, but thine eyes shall see thy teacher. Because as we eating and partaking this bread of adversity, we reflect on our ancestors that was suffering in Egypt, going through bondage, going through adversity, striving to try to seek, seek the face of the Most High, needing teachers and needing guidance such as Moses and Aaron to lead our people up out of this bondage and captivity to go serve the Most High. That was the ultimate goal. Moses was going to Pharaoh, said, let my people go that they may serve the Most High. That's what we partake in with the ceremonial rites and the memorial of this Passover is our desire to want to serve the Most High. Yes, we're partaking in breads of adversity, but we're still going to be knowing that we're going to have an exodus. We're going to have a way to get up out of this bondage and this captivity, man. We're going to get taught again through the righteousness of the Most High. Going back to Deuteronomy real quick. Verse 3, thou shalt eat no leavened bread with it 7 days. So no leavened bread. So no malice, no wickedness, no evil, no unrighteousness should we be partaking in this time. This is a time of reflection. This is a time that we purge out, we clean out, make sure that the homes is good. Everything starts at home. The Most High told Esdras in 2nd Ezra 14, say, get thy house in order and reprove the people. So the homes got to be right. Make sure you pull out that refrigerator. Vacuum up them crumbs, mop back there, pull out your oven, make sure that's done. Your toasters, clean out your microwaves, your air fryers, your ovens, making sure that you leave nothing unturned. You really want to show the Most High that you're making the effort to try to remove and to really purge out anything that the Most High would consider as leaven. Get your cars vacuumed out. Some of y'all be moving on the go. You eating in the car. You dropping food and bread and all over the place, and never forget. Never remember. Oops, I should have got that. Your little stash of hot sauce and ketchup packs and all. Get rid of all of that. Get rid of all of that. Why? Because the vinegar is leavening. Again, we can see why. They made Yahweh Shai partake in the leaven. They try to give him the vinegar. You understand? So the Most High said, thou shalt eat no leavened bread with it. Talking about the Passover lamb. 7 days shalt thou eat unleavened bread therewith, even the bread of affliction. For thou camest forth out of the land of Egypt in haste, that thou mayest remember the day that thou camest forth out of the land of Egypt all the days of thy life. So we have to reflect on what happened to us in Egypt of old, as we're here in spiritual Egypt right now. Everything is parallel, everything is reflective. Okay, so as we partaking in this Passover, we recognize we're in the same position. Our people everybody wasn't going through hell. Remember when we was in the wilderness and people were starving and they was rebuking and coming after Moses, saying, man, you brought us out here to die and we want to go back to Egypt. We want the garlic and the leeks, and we want to go back and eat good and be comfortable like we was in Egypt. Remember that? Yeah, people the same way, man. No, I don't want. I don't have to deal with Passover and all that, man. I just want, Egypt, and don't tell me about my diet. And I want McDonald's. I want KFC. I want to be able to eat my bacon and the same type of stuff. You understand? Verse 4. And there shall be no leavened bread seen with thee in all thy coast 7 days. Neither shall there anything of the flesh which thou sacrificest the first day at even remain all night until the morning. So there's no leftovers. Whatever you do not consume needs to be burnt. Throw it back on the grill, throw it on the charcoal, let it burn up. Okay? Until the morning. So there ain't no, man, that lamb was good. The lamb was bomb. So, let me say something for tomorrow. No. It's a one night, one evening, roasting, partaking. Whatever gets consumed. Anything left, burn it up. That's it. Okay. Don't be making a bag full of leaven and throwing it in your back in your trunk, rolling around saying, well, I can't get rid of this, man. I just bought this uh loaf of bread, or I just bought this this my favorite hot sauce, whatever. No, you shouldn't have bought it. It's a casualty of the ceremony. It's a casualty of the law. Throw it out. My cousin ain't in the truth, man. They don't give a damn. I'm gonna just give it to them. And then lo and behold, next year, your cousin come into the truth and say, man, I'm keeping the Passover. I wasn't supposed to have this, man. You gave this to me. Blood on your hands now. Now you're held accountable. The Lord's gonna come down on you. So don't pass off your sins to somebody else and say, here, you hold on to it. No, no, no. Just so that you can save a buck and go fill your belly up as soon as the Passover's over. I can't wait. I'm no. Purge out, man. That's what it is. All right. So that's lightweight on the Passover, man. Praying everybody is, preparing well, getting ready. Um, One of the high holy days of the year, man. Always a good celebration. I always said, man, in Israel, it's almost like Israel's red carpet and fashion show, man. You see everybody got their garments on, looking beautiful, stunning, coming out to serve the Lord, man, and partaking in um, these things. Make sure that you've got your components together: lamb, unleavened bread, bitter herbs, and your wine or your grape juice of choice. Those are all mandatory components. We'll be going live on there Tuesday evening, Lord willing, with our ceremony. We'll be collaborating with our brothers and believers of the way. Bow, shout out to them. The little bros over there, man. We always come together and do our thing. So, we'll be live on both channels. If we don't catch anybody um, at our Shabbat class this afternoon in a couple of hours, Lord willing, we'll see y'all Tuesday. All right. So with that, I'm gonna go ahead and close out, man. Y'all have a blessed rest of your Sabbath, man. For those that tune in for our ongoing closing Sabbath class at 4 o'clock, I'll see y'all then, Lord willing. Other than that, man, make sure you wipe your feet. You honored the house with some respect and some dignity. You dig? And you know, always remember, fear the Most High, keep the commandments, and don't shoot the messenger. All right, Shalom.